You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects. That's movies,
TV shows,
video games,
and board games.
I'm your host, Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. This week's episode is part 2 of our board game episode from the beginning of the season, our very own collection. The top 5 this episode will be our top 5 board games, beg your pardon, that we will introduce to new players. I'm joined around the table by the guys that love to talk about board games. First of all, Chris, welcome, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Good to be back.
We've also got the games master himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Wayne from Board Stupid. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm very, very well, thank you. You had me back. I didn't insult you too much.
No, I had to have you back. Of course you had to come back. It's part 2. It's part 2.
It's
then also, we've got the man that puts the pro in professional board gaming, Jason from Me4Minded. How are you, sir?
Professional? Who is this? I'm good, thank you, apart from dying of cold and all sorts of stuff.
Of COVID.
It's definitely not that.
Definitely not COVID, right?
No laugh.
Okay,
that's last year.
But I hear that
year,
apparently that you live and breathe board games so much. Apparently, if I cut you right now, meatballs would come out of you. Is this true?
I mean, I could really do with some extra meatballs because I've lost a lot recently. So. Inject me with more meatballs. I'll be happy.
So part 2, guys, of your own collection. Thank you for coming back. Obviously, you liked the first part, so you came back for part 2. Thank you again for coming back.
You didn't let us leave.
Yeah, we've been here since then.
All chained up.
I'm in so much trouble.
So before we get on, guys, Wayne and Jason, would you like to do plugs for your podcasts?
I was first last time. You go first.
Okay, yeah. So I am Jason. I am one of the hosts of the Me4Minded podcast. We put out a new episode every single Tuesday. We talk about all things tabletop gaming. You can find us on all of your awesome audio streaming services wherever you find this podcast. We'll be there as well.
Nice. We'll be there right with you. You just can't get rid of them. I'm Wayne. I'm from the Board Stupid podcast, spelled B-O-A-R-D. I'm so sorry. Spelled B-O-A-R-D. You can find us wherever you can find your favourite podcast. Just look for Board Stupid, either on YouTube or on wherever it is that you listen to your stuff.
Nice. As you said, we'll be there as a leech.
We'll be there leeching your listening time.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and I'm Chris. I listen to the M.T.V.B. podcast on a Monday. I listen to Me4Minded on a Tuesday. And then when Wayne comes off his hiatus.
Sundays. You'll find us Sundays.
But I find him on a Monday.
Nice. So, the top 5 board games of your own collection that you would introduce to new players. Was this a hard list for you guys at all, or?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, it was. Not from the perspective of not having enough games. I mean, I quickly had an immediate list of like 20 games. I'm like, okay, these I might do. The difficult thing was then passing that down and trying to apply some kind of logic to the final 5.
Sure.
So that was the hard bit, thinking, well, how do I sort these to give you the best possible list that I can think of?
Nice. Jason?
It was incredibly difficult.
Really?
Yes. I had too many to choose from.
Yeah, that's the main
unfortunately,
problem.
I think this is one thing I don't know what you're...
Do you think you would have had a harder time if it wasn't your collection, though? Because obviously there's even more out there.
I mean, there are some that I would say would probably be on the list that aren't in my collection.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know. I would probably still choose these games.
I'm thankful that you didn't just say, top 5 games that you would introduce to a new player, because I'm like, damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff that you could introduce to people these days.
It's when someone says to you, do top 5 board games of all time, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Go listen to that 100th episode, by the way, guys. Yeah, that was a tough mother.
That was... rough going. But
Yeah,
good fun, though.
I think the list has even changed since then. So
Nice. Chris, you said it was difficult for you?
Yeah, well, the problem was I was like, I could do Wayne's collection because his ones were the ones that got me started on it.
That's the issue. I could do Jason's.
Yeah, so I had that, and then my collection was a bit more, right, I'm in the hobby.
Yeah.
So they were a bit more heavier, weightier games. But then when I went through them, there were some, right, okay, I can use that one. Maybe some caveats with, like, I wouldn't introduce 4 or 5 brand new players.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
if I'm introducing one player to people who are playing board games, then I think some of these are going to be, like, up the street. So that's where I've had to
I
come
see.
from.
So where you can bring a new player into a group.
Yeah,
of
one or
friends.
two, because some games are really heavy,
Yes.
but then some are kind of like,
Yeah.
you could go, right, well, we'll work together, or here's
Yeah,
an
I see what you're
objective.
saying.
Yeah.
I see what
And
you're saying.
it's easier to teach someone new the
Yeah.
situation.
I think it's also interesting that what a beginner game is going to be, to some extent, what the individual can cope with, right?
Yeah.
Some people want to be chucked in at the deep end. They go like, I want to play Eldritch Horror. I don't care. I've never played a board game before, but that looks cool. That looks amazing. Teach me. Some people might want to do that, and that will be their first game, and that's where they start. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm trying to kind of not think about that so much. More like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're into. What's a safe bet? That won't scare you off.
Nice. That's going to actually come into my first question for you guys. So, when you're introducing a new game to someone or a group of people, how confident are you when you do this? Do you have to think about it, or can you just go look at the collection and go, that one will do?
I would say I've definitely got some in the collection that I could do that. To extend on what Wayne was saying just now, actually, I think as to why the list was so difficult for me was because my collection, as we discussed in the last episode, is quite heavily curated towards the events that I run. So I do get a substantial amount of new people coming in. So I need games that I can easily run, that are easy to understand and very quick and fun to play.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for me, there are certain things about games that, like little tick boxes, I guess, they've got to be fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a game. They've got to be quick. They've got to be easy to teach. Easy to understand is definitely a key one for me. And I have quite a lot of those in my collection, which is, again, like I said, I looked at my shelf when you said what the list was going to be and went, shit, this is going to be difficult.
Do you know what? I honestly thought this was going to be easy for you guys. I thought you'd be like, I've got this straight away. And then,
well, like I said, I could sit here and go, oh yeah, I've got a new player. Yeah, I'm going to immediately teach him, like you said, Eldritch Horror, or I'm going to go to Nemesis, or go Scythe. No. No. I mean, unless it's Simon, obviously. I think that's how his baptism to
his
board
first was Nemesis.
did you actually dip his head into the box?
Yeah, I was like, look at this mini. Look how cool it is. He went, yeah, it's pretty cool.
The same one, my first proper game was Dead of Winter?
Dead of
Crossroads.
Winter, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And you'd done that for the fact was Walking Dead was at its peak at that point,
that's
because
true.
it was like
It was
10
pretty-
years
it
ago.
was pretty
when
hot
it was
at that point, yeah.
It was a decent series.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I've got this game, Zombies. And you basically just chose a slight IP that you had and that I liked. And you kind of just,
yeah.
you intrigued me, because it would be like, if someone's a Marvel fan, you go, well, here's
Something Marvel.
Here's a choice.
Exactly, yeah.
With board games, it's so good because there's no one could go, I'm not really into board games, and you go, well, what are you into? And even if he went, I'm into stamps or something like that, I'm sure there's a Euro game out there.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That you go, right, I can find you a game like that,
Yeah.
and I can get you introduced that way.
Absolutely.
And then you start to branch out.
Like you say, I think that's the next key thing for me as well. As like, who are they? What do
Who
they
are you?
like?
What you like?
Yeah.
Because usually before we've gotten to the discussion of, so do you want to play a game? I've already found out their name. I found out what they're into. What's your favourite movies? Like you said, if they go, oh yeah, I absolutely love Marvel. I love everything Marvel. Right, cool. I've got stupid amount of Marvel games.
Yeah.
So now we know we're leaning towards that with this particular person. However, the other person that might be into that game. I was like, oh no, I can't stand Marvel. I was like, right, cool, well, we'll take them out of that.
So sometimes you don't have to agree. You're like, yep, okay, he will like this one, and this one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I'm much more confident these days than when I started, for sure. I mean, when you play a bunch of games with a bunch of different people, you really, as Jason was inferring, you start to get a kind of a good gauge on what people might like. And so I've been pretty successful. If I know someone that doesn't really want to be bombarded with a load of rules, I've got stuff that they'll probably like.
Yeah.
They've got people that, again, want to be thrown in. I've got stuff like they'll like. And if I've got people that have never played really modern board games, don't really know what it's about, I've got some really easy, gentle stuff that I can chuck at those folks.
Nice.
So I'm pretty confident these days, but it takes time, I think.
Nice.
I think if there was one big thing I had to learn, which was they might not want to play the game that you want to play.
Yeah, true.
It's like, it's not about me, it's about them.
Exactly.
That's what I have to, the advice I give to anyone who's asked me is that, how do you get people into gaming? How do you do it at the clubs? Don't play the game that you want to play unless they want to play it.
That's a great point.
Actually, pretty much bang on, because I'm pretty sure your first half of your collection, after people started getting in, because even when I'm looking at a game, I go, I like that, and you start going, well, Wayne, I like that, and I like that. And you started to build your board game collection around, right, I can get these people to the table. So I'm going to build a theme and a collection to
You kind of did that at your house when you dished out the Blockbuster game. You knew I wanted to play that.
Basically it was one
and you had
of
me and Phil there.
It was everything. You had the TV. It was basically for that very reason. It just stuff.
Yeah.
You go, right, it's not just me, because I'm not a solo player.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm always thinking elsewhere, and I've started to branch out more to get the family ones
exactly
a little bit more.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, I'm certainly now, well, even always, I get a game, I want at least more than one me to like it, right? So I do definitely think about my gaming group and who else might like it. But now, even these days, I'm buying games specifically just because they're like simpler, that I might get more people that I know and like to spend time with, round to play something and have some dinner or whatever. So it's, you're thinking about other people when you play games, right? It's a social activity for the most part.
Yeah. And you guys are literally just touched on the next question. It was, when you buy new games, are you buying them for yourself or for your friends?
So, everyone else.
Fair enough. You will like my game.
No, here's the thing though, right? Even though I'm thinking of my mates or my gaming group or whatever purpose I'm thinking of getting the game, I also have to like it.
I know, of course.
So if I'm teaching folks, I want to enjoy it. But like you say, Jason, I'm not always going to pick the game off the shelf that I really want to play at that moment. Man, I haven't played Sci for a while. I really want to get that down. Or Root. I want to play Root. I'd like to play that, but I'm not going to play that. I'm always going to play something that they want to play. And that's where I fit in that. I buy games typically for other people, but I have to like them too.
But that's why I've learned.
But there is the side game you would have for yourself, essentially, as well. Like Root, you say, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. But, but again, I know folks who love that game.
Yeah.
And I would bring them around just for that.
Sorry, Chris, you were saying something?
I was just about to say that it's basically, it was all Wayne's doing for why I actually love this hobby. So this whole reason that I'm sitting here is because Wayne has tailored his games and his collection and his thoughts on everything to kind of really involve people who want to get involved. Yeah. And it has progressed, but there's still the games there which were great games. They're brilliant games, and they're great to come out when you start for new people, because they worked on me. So
yeah.
It's got a proven record that it can work.
Yeah. Do you ever get that feeling like, I got him?
Yeah. Yeah, some people be like,
that's it.
You're in now.
But Jason, you just buy them for yourself, do you?
Oh, yeah. Fuck everyone else.
Fuck everyone else. I like it. Honesty, I love it.
No, I do, like I said, a lot of my collection is curated around one game. As Wayne said, I have to like the game. I'm not going to buy a game, like, if there's a theme, it's like, oh, no, I don't like that theme, but I'll buy it anyway. No, I won't. I have to like the theme.
I'm not so selfless that I'll only buy a game that you three will like, and I'll sit at the table and be like, this is balls.
That's it.
But it's like I say, curating when I think about the club, curating when I think about my likes and dislikes, and they tend to mesh quite nicely.
Yeah.
I have certain groups, present company, where we like to play the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
I have certain groups where anything higher than lightweight is a no-go.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, well, I know what games are going in my game bag for this group.
Yeah.
And that's established players. Like,
There's absolutely nothing wrong with not liking middleweight and heavyweight games.
Yeah.
And you can, nothing, no less of a board game. You can play what you want.
Yeah.
As long as you're still playing, that's the main thing.
Exactly.
So, being the gamers that you all are, how do you feel about when a friend, i.e. one of us, tries to introduce you to a new game?
I fucking
Bring it
love
on.
I love it.
Going back to, because I know you are very themed heavy. I know there's certain games, even if I said to you, Jason, play it, you still won't. So
who goes there? Is that
or Dune Imperium, for example.
yeah.
So
it's very true.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, you're happy with everything else apart from certain themes, or?
I mean, I can't say that I won't play these games because I am a self-professed. I am an omni gamer. I will play any game at least once.
Yes.
I have no cares for the theme. If I don't have a care for a theme, that's already an uphill battle for that game. But if the game is really fucking good, I'll play it again.
Sure.
Because I can make up my own theme in my head. But
what about you guys?
It is a bit of an uphill struggle. If it's a boring theme, you'd have to properly... It's probably easier now to get me on a boring theme than it was when I first started.
Or just a new game, not just necessarily saying, just a new game in general.
No, a new game, I'm pretty much down.
Like Wayne's said, Chris, I've got this new thing, it's a fucking banger. Let's try it. Are you happy with
we've got to a point now, there's certain games which what's the pirate one?
Forgotten Waters.
That wasn't really
your
my
bag.
cup, but I tried it. It wasn't for me, but other people loved it. So that's a game that I don't tend to play, but I will play it again, if you know what I mean. So it's more a case of...
So you went in sceptical sort of thing?
It's sceptical, but you might as well try it, because I don't want to... Because with me saying I'm not going to play the game, you're then missing out on all of... It's not just the game, it's the whole night of fun.
You're missing the social,
the social bit of...
Yeah.
So you got
but you don't want to be sitting there like, oh, I can't fucking... Let's just get on with it now, sort of
because
thing.
You've got to put the effort in, because board games live or die by the whole social interaction. If no one's doing it, it's just...
Yeah.
It's boring, and it's... You've got to give it the effort it deserves.
Yeah, that's right, and you get the great experience out of it.
Yeah.
But no, I love it when people show me games and show me new games. I get dead keen, sort of regardless of the theme. Yeah, I've learned really not to judge theme really too much, and I'm as guilty as anyone. I like a flashy theme or a theme that I like. Sure. I love it, but I'm certainly, I think, way easier. I'll throw myself into anything you want to offer, no matter how brown it looks. I'll give it a go. Would I buy what I typically call...
But I love this.
But I love this. Would I buy this? I don't know. But I love this. No, we talked about on recording we did last night about I don't really like just brown Euros, but I'll try them. It might be great.
Yeah.
A good example is Seven Wonders.
Yeah.
Yeah, as an example. Or any number of games that look kind of really dry. Smartphone Inc. Although, actually, I think, on reflection, thinking of some of the games that I've seen, that art is fine. It's, there are some terrible stuff out there.
It could be Castles of Burgundy.
Yeah. I hate that game. Don't at me. Awful. No, I love it. I'll always take the opportunity because I know that you've cared enough to invite me to the table. So that's important enough for me, and I'll sit and play whatever you want to go. Yeah.
And it's a big deal for that person, I assume, that's introducing this game for you guys to make the effort, like Wayne said, to come and just give it a try.
Because you've got to learn the rules and you've got to teach.
Exactly,
and I appreciate people making that effort and want me involved in that experience.
Because there's nothing worse than forking out 60, 70 quid and then they go, well, that was shit.
Yeah. I might answer
It's
that
very
later
hard.
though, so don't go into it just yet.
Okay.
But let's just go opposite for a second, okay? How was your reaction when you found out that your friends that you've known for a while actually has the same passion as you guys? Jason, you brought this up on your podcast a couple of times. You know, how big of a surprise was that to you?
It was a massive surprise to me, like, just to know that basically everyone I knew from years ago were actually into the same hobby as me, despite the fact that we never once talked about it, We never once gamed together.
Yep.
Yet in the background, we were all doing it, separately on our own. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those weird things because it's like obviously running the game club. I've been doing that now for 6 years, and I've been posting about it, on my social media for 6 years, and it's only maybe 2 years into it that I found out everyone else was into it. It's like, well, hang on a minute, I've been fucking posting about this shit, and you didn't once come to me.
Fucking nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I grew up obviously in the 80s, so I was very board game, like Mousetrap, Scramble.
Yeah, which has all of a sudden come back in the States all of a sudden.
Ghost House, and
Yes.
so I loved board games as
Family
a
game
kid.
nights and stuff, or Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, Christmas. Don't Panic. I don't know if you ever had that.
Yeah.
So board games was always a family thing. And then I think I got to 13 and 14, and it was not cool to say you like board games at school, and you kind of just play computer games. So I never hated board games. I just didn't play it. And then obviously Wayne started to bring them back, and it was like, I've never had.
They're cool now, so you can play them.
We play them back. So I kind of just. Everybody just kind of grew into the hobby. I didn't realise. I knew Wayne was making new friends, so that's like, you like. I didn't know there was such a big community out there.
Yeah, I think it's part of it, isn't it? Because board games are inherently social. Typically, it's a communal thing. A community is a community too. So I think inherently you will end up finding out who else is in that hobby as you look for players to play certain games with you, or you want to play more board games. You may end up in a local meetup or club or the local game store. You're like, oh. So, yeah, I think it's just the nature of the hobby itself brings people with that common interest together.
Anything you can play during a power cut.
It is a win, right?
Yeah. When we had lockdown, when we weren't able to stick, like anything that can just
or when the internet finally goes down.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're coming out.
That's coming soon.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We will be gods amongst men. When
That's it.
When the apocalypse happens and
Always
all the nukes go out.
We'll still be board gaming.
To do.
Exactly.
Broken meeples and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with me growing a third leg out and, in the nuclear apocalypse.
Fallout style.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, final question to you guys. Obviously, you touched on it, Chris, earlier. Have you ever had an unsuccessful attempt at getting people into the games? Be honest.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could say no. I really do. But again, not everyone just wants to play board games at all. Even if they've come around and be like, yeah, I fancy playing something. They just, some people just
want to get
aren't
pissed.
or just
or just want to just not, they're not quite into it as much as.
Yeah, or I might gauge it wrong. I might pick something too heavy and be like, nah, cock that up. Or might be the case. Or they just some people just don't like games, and that's fine. People have different interests.
Because not
they
all
might
of
have
our friends are gamers,
exactly.
are they? So
I might have lots of friends. I've had plenty of friends actually. You're really into board games. I'll try something out, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that was cool. But it doesn't trigger an interest, and that is often how they genuinely feel. I had a good time, but I don't want to do that. It's not like a thing for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you what games it was that I've got out and it just didn't work. Sometimes it can be something as simple as I've been too, this game's amazing. I've been far too in their face about how amazing gaming is.
You can't see people because he's hulking out right now.
Yeah. They're like, what? I just moved the people here. Like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but it can be even things like, and
Activate the broadsword.
Exactly. It's like, you've got to take that pile of stone and put it over there and that over there. It's like, what stone? I just see some cubes. It's like, no, they're not cubes. They're iron ore.
Yeah.
No, they're fucking cubes, mate. It is like,
no, it's not a figure. It's a meeple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll have people that either just aren't into it at all, or you'll have people that like it, but it's not.
But
the
fact
like
you've
an investment.
tried, though,
yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it?
I think they've, yeah.
It isn't for everyone. I'm the first to admit that this hobby isn't for everyone, but do you know what? I can try my best.
Still growing.
I mean, I don't think I've had an unsuccessful getting someone in, but I've had unsuccessful games.
Yeah,
getting people into. Like, I bought something and they've gone, I didn't like it. So that's where I've gone unsuccessful with that sort of thing.
I think another thing I learned quite early on, and it was another thing that I think maybe lost a couple of people, was before I actually spent the time when I got new games to sit and actually learn the fucking rules at home before trying to teach other people. You know, there's nothing more embarrassing than trying to teach someone and get them into the hobby and go, yeah, everything's really cool about this. Oh, hang on a minute, let me just check this rule.
That is so important.
Yeah, be quiet.
That is so important.
that there is probably the biggest point of my whole. I would not be into board games if I had to physically really learn the rules and read the instructions to the point. I find it easier to be taught than to read and learn. So, like, when I'm reading and learning, it kind of like sometimes it gets a bit confused, especially if they're written really poorly.
That ends set up as well as another thing as well.
Easy teachers of a complicated game, which have allowed me to really grasp the hobby.
This is why Rodney Smith exists.
And that's the setup.
Because I've had game nights at mine, and I've had to ring Wayne. And I've ring Wayne, and I was like, "Can you just explain this rule?" And he's like,
"Put you on loudspeaker."
It's like, who wants to be a millionaire?
Like, Wayne is your reference sheet.
You need a Wayne. That's what it is. Every
so you need on speed dial.
Needs a Wayne.
Very kind. Yeah, you got to sit and read the rules. I think that's definitely going to be. Knowing a game inside out definitely helps give people a great first experience, which is important if you want them to have a good time and maybe get into the hobby and enjoy it with you. So, yeah, 100%. That's a great point.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give them the perception that all games are complicated as fuck. That
difficult.
Even someone who's been doing it for years
apparently knows about this, and they're like, "I'll stop every 2 seconds to check the rulebook." So,
you know, I'm the first to hold my hands. I've been guilty of that for years. You know, it's only the past sort of 2-3 years that I've really sort of, no, I actually need to learn these fucking things.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're wasting game nights playing a game that should take an hour and it's taking 4.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly checking the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I've had bad games that are just, this game is shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't like this game. Yeah. No one liked it. This is just bad. Done that a bunch. But yeah, I've also had games where I've tried to maybe learn it at the same time I've bought it because I've been so excited. I've gone, oh, guys, this has come today. Come over, we'll play it together and try and learn it together. And it's never that fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, but it's not as fun as the second time and then the third time. So,
sure.
Yeah, but it would have been way better if one person had spent the time to really dig in and know it.
And that could kill a game because you'd be like,
oh, yeah.
Because we played my one, Nothing Personal.
Yeah.
And it was
we tried
so
to play it at
bad,
the same time as learning it, right?
Yeah, so bad the first time.
It's hard, yeah.
But you did say the rules were ridiculous.
They were ridiculous. And
they were balls,
that's what it means. It's kind of like, I was thinking, like me, if Wayne's struggling.
It's unapproved.
It's unapproved. But yeah.
Like, if I'd spent a day before that, I'll look on BGG at lunchtime, I'll take a proper read of it and then give it another go, then there would have been a different experience. The second time we played it, brilliant. But the first one was a slog.
What it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's all question-wise I've got for you guys. If you want to throw anything in now, if not, we'll go straight to top 5.
I think we're too good at these questions, you know. We blitz through these every time.
Do you know, no, I could talk... you'll hate this, listener, but I could talk for ages on these. So
absolutely.
You should feel lucky that I'm not.
I mean, we're going to get the top 5 in somehow, so we can't go too forever on questions.
And this is just... I will say this is a great topic, and because we get to focus on our collections as well, you know...
Well, I'm trying not to sway against your guys' ideas as well, so that's the thing.
Exactly.
So,
cool, we'll see.
Let's do it. Top 5s, guys.
Let's do it.
It's time for a top 5.
So Chris actually mentioned earlier on that there will be no clashes whatsoever. If you're obviously your pick comes out and someone else has got it, just keep it to yourself. When it gets around to yourself, just have your 2 cents about it. Let's do number 5.
Number 5.
Who would like to be first?
Oh, can I just quickly ask if quick mute.
Stylish.
Yeah, I'll style that out. How did you folks go around curating your list? Did you exclude some certain things or have some specific parameters, or will that be too spoilery?
I've done mine in categories.
Yeah. I've ordered mine from, I think, the easiest to the most complex. That's how I've kind of done it. Not necessarily.
So number 5 is your easiest.
Yeah, so not necessarily in order of, like, my favourite one that I'd pull off the shelf.
Yeah.
See what I mean? I've sort of done that.
I would say they're all sort of on the same level. Like it's not like, oh yeah, I definitely favour this one. You know, number 1 over number 5. And it's like, no, they're all in that sort of. Like I said, I narrowed my list down to 15.
Yeah,
and they're all in that same category. As I would
Take away 10.
Anyone.
I mean, I might have 15 games.
Yes,
we already used
But we
5
appreciate
of them
you.
last time.
We appreciate you still done the list, though, mate.
Yeah,
we really do.
I could have done this list if you would have said top 5 beginner games, because I could have used ones that I'd done and the games that I really enjoyed that I would buy if someone else didn't have them, or it's like so. Yeah, I was limited to what I actually had on my shelf.
Whereas me and Wayne are sitting there going, "Thank fuck he didn't say."
But this is the issue. It's like, do I use these? Do I use mini games and stuff like that? So I've had to throw, like I said, mine's in category. So
mine I've done to the point where some of them are for new players and some of them are for. I'm inviting a new player with experienced players who could help.
Yeah, okay.
For an enjoyable gaming experience, for here's a game to get you a little taster of a proper board game.
I think the only thing I would say, really parameter-wise for me, was I really struggled to narrow it down from that 15, so I had to put strict parameters on, which was every player in this game has to be able to be new. And I have to be able to teach it within 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I am talking as I could literally walk into a stranger's house that's full of people and go, right, do you want to play a board game? They all say yes. I should be able to teach it in 15 minutes.
Nice. I like that.
nice.
I like that.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I also exclude, again, possibly spoilers, but I had to exclude party games. Otherwise, I could make a top 5 party games.
That's fair.
But many party games could also fit in this bracket. So,
That's another episode.
They're games designed for drunk people. Like,
Mine might come under some of that.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
and I think that's totally legit. They could 100% be in this category.
It's depending on who you're bringing to the table, isn't it?
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, who would like to go first?
Jason, do it.
fine.
I'll go first if you want. I don't mind.
I can go first again.
Right, I'll go first. You want to go first again?
I'll go first.
Go first, yeah. We'll do the same order as last time. Go, sir.
Okay.
Okay, my first one is a Disney game, Marvel Villainous.
Nice.
I got introduced to Villainous by Wayne, but it was the Disney...
Which was actually Jason's edition.
It was actually my
Oh, it's been hoard about there.
I've still never played this game. And
the reason... Because you brought it round because my partner Sally was going to start playing for the first time. So you've gone, Sally, girl, IP, Disney. There's a little taster. And she loved it. She enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And then she ended up buying it for my birthday. And we played it a couple of times.
Nice.
The actual game is, you can't use this one with anybody with the other ones. They don't really work because it's its own sort of universe. You can't have Thanos
fighting.
Well, you can, but
which was a bit of a shame.
It was a bit of a shame.
I had Marvel Villainous as well. A very, very good game, but I just preferred the original. Just mainly because everyone's deck was their deck. Yeah, it was much more of a solitaire game.
I would have the original if it was on the shelf, but I do own the Marvel one.
I think it's great. I think it's a great choice. It's really, really good one, and I think it's complicated enough to keep people interested that might want something a little bit more chewy.
When you first
I still need to play this, so
it looks a little bit more complicated than it actually is. But it's not. But it's not. You put a card, and you either play the 4 symbols, which you learn pretty quick.
Yep.
And you play all 4, or if someone plays a card, it will cover up 2.
Yep.
And it's basically certain things. You'll either have to collect 6 things, do some quests, or move a certain amount of people to a certain space, and that's pretty much the overall game.
Yeah.
But the only thing with this game is it can go from like 40 minutes, and it can drag up to like an hour and a half.
If you've got people that can keep cancelling each other out, you can. Yeah, it can drag on a bit, but it is very good though.
But we enjoyed it. We had a great game, and it was good enough for my partner to then buy for us to play.
That's lovely.
So this was you enjoyed it. I didn't even know you were playing it. So there you go.
The only thing I have with it is I don't know who's making the characters, because you've got Thanos, which is great. You've got Hela, and then you've got Killmonger, and then you got Taskmaster. They're good, but they kind of feel
out of the ordinary, though, isn't it?
They kind of feel like.
It was the 2 movies that were out at the time.
Yeah, I know. And then you've got like ally cards of like what's his name? Adam, the guy who only saw in a teaser in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, and he's
yeah.
an ally. You're like, it's the character, because it's very comic book, but they kind of done it between. They haven't made up their mind if they want to go comic book or the movie.
They sort of sway the line between the two.
Swayed the line, and they could have chose 2 other characters. I reckon that could have fit that mold a little bit, but they still work.
So the only difficulty with this one with some people might be the asymmetry in the game, because everyone has a different goal. So it's easy enough to explain the core mechanisms of the game each, but a question for new players might be, well, why are you doing something different to me? Because that game is quite asymmetric, actually.
Yeah, because you've all got a different goal.
Yeah, but still, don't put that you off. Don't let that put you off. Sorry, it is very good, and you can get beginners in.
It's literally after you play a round, and then you'll
get it.
You'll get it. It's kind of like and that's basically, and it's a good enough game to kind of get you a feel of what's out there.
Yeah,
and if you like this one, there are a lot of more collections. Do the other ones mold?
I don't believe they do. My apologies. You've got, obviously, the Disney one, which has ridiculous amount of expansions now. They all work together, obviously.
The Marvel
one is self-contained, which has now got its own expansions. And I think there's a Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an IP for, if you're not a Marvel fan, but you like your Star
I would
Wars.
be interested to see if the Star Wars one will blend with the Marvel, because it's the same system.
And it's
whereas
Disney.
the original Disney one is different.
Oh, yeah, true.
So it could be interesting. I've not tried.
But yeah, this one I would class for someone who's like enjoys Marvel, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't bust it out if they didn't.
Yeah, makes sense.
So was this the game that got your missus into board games? Was this the game that, like, okay,
It was.
he can have his board games because I like this one?
It's kind of like she just kind of understood what was going on.
Sure.
She just enjoyed.
Easy to play.
But just kind of got. She wasn't hooked, but she wasn't against it. So she would like we were saying earlier, she'd be one of these people who would come to the table and play a game. But if she didn't, she wouldn't lose sleep.
Nice.
I would definitely say another plus point for that is its availability. You can get it everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
Jason's
not even
copy.
a game store exclusive. You
Yeah,
can
you
get
pick
that
up for
Tesco
Swedish,
if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh, it's a good choice, sir. Still need to play it, but yeah, please, let me play it sometime, all right?
Yes. The trouble is, you come to ours and it's, oh no, I want to play that, want to play that. It's like, dude, we've got 3 hours.
I can't help it. You can't have a bunch of shit there and be like, okay, we're going to play this. No, I want to play that. Anything else on that, sir?
No, I think that's
No.
it. I think it's pretty reasonable. Like you could say,
I mean,
we'll take a punt on
I
it.
agree.
If
I've
both of
used
you
that
didn't
before.
own a game, you could go, oh, we'll take a punt on it. It's not too much of an outlay
Yeah.
if you got it wrong.
It's an easy purchase.
Easy purchase.
Yep.
Right, so my number 5, sorry, Wayne, is a party game.
That's
It's in the
fine.
category of a
Absolutely.
party game.
That's cool with me.
It's a new party game that's recently come out. BGG played it a few weeks back. I mentioned it on your podcast last night. Top 10. Top 10 is a great card game where, again, 3 to 10 players, you're given a card each, which is numbered 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
1 being the least, 10 being the highest. But you could have 5, you could have 7, you could have 8, for example, not have them in order. And then you'll get a card which will say something like, after a shipwreck, you find yourself with one object on that desert island. What is it? So now you have to go around the table thinking someone would have to say what the worst would be.
Okay.
Like a bag of bricks, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely number 1 then. And then say, for example, it goes to you when you'd say supply of water, for example. And then Jason would say a food supply. So which one's the highest out of the 2? You need to get this in order to beat the round. So he's clearly number 1.
Yeah.
Are you number 8? Are you number 9? And this is the beauty of this game, because you've only got 5 rounds to get through, and you've only got so many. Every time you fail a round, you've got 3. I think there's actually shit tokens.
Nice.
And it's the guessing game that I love about this.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
the group, how do I say this? The gameplay of everyone trying to guess. You'll get other obviously subjects. Like the next one could be describe a pitch to Netflix, the next blockbuster series, from 1 being the worst to number 10 being the best. And it's just all
group
these
experience of it,
exactly, yeah. And then just had that whole point of guessing.
Yeah, nice.
And you could have come up with something better, Jason, in a food supply, and he said water. So and it's just. Interaction, that's sort of what I was looking for.
Good interaction.
Sorry. Yeah.
How many does it play?
3 to 10 players.
3, yeah.
3 to 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
True
bigger
buy.
group, better game,
Yeah,
obviously.
nice.
But, yeah, whoever comes up with the guesses, it needs to be better than, closer to the other one.
Yeah, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That sounds, again, any party game could easily fill this vibe.
Absolutely,
like this.
yeah.
And I think, cracking choice. You'll have to show us at some point.
Yes, definitely, yeah. Jason.
Nice. So, yeah, in true me fashion, my first one is Dynagenic. No, it's not.
Hey!
Had to get it in there.
Had to be in there somewhere.
I've mentioned it now. I don't need to mention it the rest of the time.
We've got Dynagenics and Broadsword out. That's out of the way.
It does actually start with D. I'm going for an old friend. It was duking it out with quite a few of the others for that 5th spot, but I'm going for Downforce.
Well,
nice.
Yes, we played that last night.
We did,
sir.
yes.
Yeah,
There
very
you
good.
go.
game.
See, yes, incredibly good game. Stupidly easy to learn, teach. Mm-hmm. Can you count to 8? Can you tell your colours apart? You can play Downforce.
Yeah.
All right. If you're colourblind, then
And you might have an issue.
you might have a bit of an issue, but
Yes.
it's a really, really easy game to play. It's a racing game. Who doesn't know about motor racing? So the theme is attractive to most people. It's easy to play. It's an easy teach. It's fairly cheap to buy as well. So, I mean, that's another thing. Is like if they do enjoy the game, maybe they might want to go and buy it. I know at the moment it's currently out of print, which doesn't help.
That
but,
doesn't help the price.
but it is coming back into print,
Yeah.
so it will be easy to get again. Yeah, Downforce.
Nice.
I can't say much more about
Yeah.
Downforce.
I know you mentioned Bob, but I finally got to play it last night, so I can actually relate. It's like,
Yeah.
it's actually down good pick.
Yeah, it is an excellent game, Downforce. Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Agreed.
Games Master, which are number 5.
Number 5. No,
Party game, innit?
Yeah, well, it's my favourite party game.
They're all going to be part of the game.
I've tried to do something as well. I've tried to give a different experience with all of these. Anyway, so the one at number 5 is Railroad Inc.
Okay.
It's a very beautifully simple, quite relaxing roll and write game. And I've had sort of, folks in their 60s play this with me, for like colleagues and stuff. And I've had, experienced gamers play this with me. And I've had, my partner play this with me. And it's been pretty successful all the time. It's completely inoffensive. And is a nice way to pass 10 minutes over a cup of coffee. It's that sort of beautiful way that people are like, oh, what are you playing there? Let's play that. Or, if you want to do something, if you're out for the day with someone and you're at a pub, I brought this with you. Do you want to play 10 minutes and while we're waiting for the drinks? Like, it's one of those sorts of games, and it does its job brilliantly. You just roll dice, and you draw the dice on your little wipe clean mat.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're trying to make a long railway line and a long sort of road line / network. And it's really easy, beautiful, nice little production, cracking game. Can play with anyone.
Still in
Definitely
print?
worth a go. Yeah, in print. You can get hold of that. You
There's
can get hold of a bunch of
different versions of it.
different
as well,
versions
isn't
of
there?
it. So, and all they are is just different dice. You just roll the dice and draw different things on your mat, and it's really nice. And you
Nice.
score points for how well you do. Super easy.
Nice.
Nice, very good.
I thought he was going to go into more detail then. I was like, I
You
haven't got
don't
the
need more
buns
detail
ready.
than that. Cheap as well.
You've probably gone through more detail than the actual rulebook, don't you?
Probably. No, it's a good one, and you can pick it up pretty cheap, and it's still widely available.
Nice. Let's do number 4s.
Number 4.
Chris, back to you, sir.
Okay, right. This one I would put on a little bit of a caveat. I would have this as a inviting a new player, not I'm inviting 4 or 5 new players. And this would be a first sort of board game experience, I would say, a proper one, so it'd be not a party game.
Yeah, okay.
And this one is Spectrops.
Nice. That's
I-
good.
Okay.
I have chosen this one because the way I was thinking was that the new player could play with the 4 or the 5 hunters.
Yeah.
So they're all working together. It's basically a game of battleships in
It's a hidden movement game, right? Where one person is an infiltrator
And,
the
yeah.
rest are trying to hunt them down.
I'm doing my research. Obviously, I forgot that Raxon, the actual facility, is the
Yes.
facility that did the outbreak in Dead of Winter.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
So you're
That's awesome.
You're
That's
basically
right, yeah.
sneaking into Umbrella, I
Yeah,
believe it.
that's
as,
right,
and
yeah.
then the Raxon card game I've got, it's all
It's in the
part,
same universe.
Yeah, it's all part of the universe.
That's right. Yeah, that's
So-
exactly
That's
right.
pretty cool.
So this one, you basically the hunter would have or the infiltrator would have his own map, and he draws around and he can move, and then the 5 hunters are basically they've got rows and grids, so they're all marked, columns, numbers, and you basically, if you're seen, you spot it. It's basically, you've got to get 3 objectives out of 4 and then escape the facility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the reason that this one's so good is because for a while you're like, where is he? And then you'll get a spot, and then you're on him.
Yeah.
And then the terror when you're close, because you can see him like trying to work out where he's going to go, and then we're trying to go, oh, he's got to go this way, he's got to go that way, and the arguments that you sort of
it really encourages cooperation,
and I think you have such a good social game with it that I don't think you can't not enjoy the game for him to go, oh, that was a good game. What's next? You know,
I think bringing them on as a hunter with a shared single objective that's a great way to introduce someone to like the world of board gaming, like a real. I say real.
Well, hidden movement definitely.
But hidden movement games or bigger board games, and I think that's a good one. Actually, you could bring someone in on that sort of group just to have fun, and they'd enjoy it because
each character has its own special ability. Like one can allow you to do an objective marker 2 or 3 spaces away from it, so it messes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's got to be there. And you're like, oh. And then the orangutan basically had more strength, and then they've all got their own sort of quirky moves, and it's good enough that you've all got special abilities so you can do stuff as well. So, yeah.
It's very good. Yep, I like that one.
Yeah, I love me hidden movement game. I need to try that.
Yeah,
it's simpler than Spectre Ops, and certainly simpler than Fury of Dracula. Probably simpler than the sort of the Jack Ripper theme one.
That one's
Whitechapel.
Whitechapel.
I think the board's a little bit more complicated on that one. It's a bit more overlappy, whereas Spectre Ops is very
clean.
gritty.
It's just a grid.
Clear.
I'd agree.
Simple.
I think it's probably the simpler of those games that we've just named.
Nice. That's a good choice. Yeah, I've not played that one.
Yeah, but then you'd be like, oh, did you like that? And then you go, let's play Dead of Winter.
Yeah. Did you like that?
We busted it out. And
then you go, well, this is connected to this game. Then whip out
We're trying to stop the outbreak, and then they've released it. You know, you just make up your own story and narrative.
Nice.
Very good. Nice. My number 4, I put it down as a category of the most attracted game because I have attracted a shit ton of people to this game, and I play it because I play it constantly at work. To be honest, on my night shifts, Unmatched. I friggin' love this series. I've been banging on about it a lot recently because it is that damn good. I've got to a point now where so many people see me play it with other people at work, look over and like, oh, what's this? What you're playing? The fact that how portable it is, the fact that it's cheap as chips as well, 20 to 30 quid per box. Not one character is the same. You can mix and match everything. The fact that, I've literally got people at work come up to me saying, when are you in next? Are you going to bring it? Are you going to bring it? It's literally, I kid you not, it's literally got to that point where like, well, I want to be Medusa next time. Well, I want to be Alice next time and whatnot. It is a great game, and it is a great game to introduce to new players. So easy to teach. Yeah. It's literally just flip card, but that's
do this,
what
you want to
move
hear,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah, and with all characters that people recognise, you've got myths, you've got legends.
Yeah.
The miniatures themselves, for the price you pay, you get your bang for your buck for this. It's so highly detailed, and the pieces are just like, little token things as well, the little adversaries, whatnot. I highly recommend it. And like I said, I've got so many people into board games just from how small the boards are in this, and the fact that I can bring it into work, for crying out loud. It's just, it's great. So I had to put it in there because I have brought people into board gaming. The fact they're asking me when I'm in work next is showing that there is an interest at the end of the day.
Nice. So, I've not played any of the Unmatched. Is it a 1 versus 1 game?
You can have one to 3. You can have 4 players max, which can be 2v2, or you can go all against all. But there's a certain way you have to start the game if you're doing all v all.
Okay, but that's cool. I really want to play
Honestly, dude, it's great. I know I've been bragging about it a lot.
I could just might even buy one.
Just give it a try. You'll like it, honestly.
You might be the reason I spend money tonight.
It is another game
I thought I'd played that one.
Or if you've got time, try and bang it out after the episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, because I thought that was the one that I think Ben or someone, it was like the ninja and they all had different powers. Like you had the ninja ones.
Yeah, each one's got an ability. That's what I said. Not one character is the same.
And they all came in their little boxes.
I don't think I've ever played Unmatched.
No.
It
might be something else.
I think it must be something else. I don't think I've played that game.
Each game, 20 to 30 minutes max, depending on how many characters you got, how many players, whatnot. Yeah, highly recommend, guys.
Quality.
Unmatched.
Good choice.
Which one's your favourite?
Probably Volume 1, which is the very far end one there.
What's that got one in sort of?
Medusa, Alice in Wonderland, Sinbad, and King Arthur.
Very cool.
All in one box.
I like that. That's a tasty little.
That's a
one
good
box.
connection. Yeah.
And the thing is, you got Sinbad, you got King Arthur, and there's Alice in Wonderland. I tell you, mate, she kicks fucking ass in that game. She's OP as fuck in that game. I'll tell you now.
Yeah, well, she's like that little girl in Men in Black, isn't she? What's she doing out?
Yeah.
Devastating.
Why do you think little Tiffany deserved to die? Chris, what happened? Yes, I'm Matt. Jason, you're number 4, sir.
So hopefully this will be my last semi-predictable one, I guess, but I had to go a little bit traditional with this.
Marvel Legend.
Marvel Legendary! No. I'm going with the Azul series.
Oh, okay, nice.
Not one particular.
Not one particular. Like, if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the original. But for the enjoyment of me, as well as everyone else, I would prefer to play one.
Do you actually own the whole lot, or...?
I own the first 3.
Okay.
I have played the 4th one, and there is a reason I don't own the 4th one.
Okay. Which one's that one?
Queen's Garden, I think it's called.
Mm.
But yeah, the Azul series, I think everyone knows it as a bit of a gateway game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, again, it's very easy to teach. It's quite easy to play. It's very pretty on the table, especially the first one.
Very attractive.
I mean,
Did they all play the same, though? Or because I've only ever played the first one,
They
so...
are all on the same system, but they all have subtle differences. My favourite one would be Stained Glass, for example, which is number 2.
Okay.
Where you're making, stained glass panes instead.
Right.
And in that one, they introduce a mechanic where you can pass and reset where your cube is.
Oh, okay.
Without going into more detail, it was the addition of being able to pass, change the game level up a notch, because you'd get to that sort of last couple of tiles and be like, well, I don't really want any of them. However, if I pass, it goes past me, and by the time it gets back round to me, I'll have a whole load.
Yeah, a tactical pass.
Okay.
Exactly, a tactical pass.
Nice.
So sometimes it's in your benefit to do it then.
Exactly, but within the context of what we're talking about, the game is very simple. It's very beautiful on the table. Like I said, the original one is easy and very, again, beautiful. You've got all those really nice sort of tiles, aren't they? They're meant to be. Was it Portuguese?
Yeah,
Portuguese tiles?
Portuguese tiling. That's right.
It's
a fabulous game. I
and
think
you
it's
get
a
them
great
all, and you create all the patterns on your board, and then by the end of it, you just sort of feel there's a sense of satisfaction when you look at your board and go, "Yeah, that looks fucking amazing!" Like, I did that. Don't you dare put that back in the box.
Yeah, I think it's a cracking
I could
choice.
get a job as a plasterer.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Get me on this. I'll design your tiling on your
Exactly. Yeah.
kitchen. No, it's a great game. It's not difficult to teach, as you say. It has a really inoffensive theme. You can play with anybody, like your nan, your cousin, whoever, and doesn't outstay its welcome. Half an hour ish, and looks very pretty, and is a great production too, and again, fairly commonly available as well.
Kind of makes me want to go to Portugal, though.
It's like
Because of the first player rule.
I love
So the person who's been recently to Portugal goes first.
I'd get that, right?
Yeah. So would you like us to pick up the chocolate version for you at Spiel?
No.
Exactly the same.
I say that. That's an immediate no from me. However, I know my partner wants it.
There you go.
But it's different. I was like, it really isn't. It's exactly the same as the first one.
Chocolate pieces.
It's chocolate pieces. It's like, yeah, but the first one looks like Chewits. But I don't need one that looks like chocolate. Whatever.
Starburst.
That really is, for me, is like, that's milking the cash cow a bit too much now. It's like, it's all's good.
That's enough.
I don't need a retheme of
the first one.
of the first one.
Yeah.
So
Which looks worse, I think. So.
it does. Yeah, it looks terrible.
Fair play, mate.
And if you're going to play it with chocolate, you might as well use fucking chocolate.
Get a box of dairy milk out and just start using those instead.
Yeah. And I don't need to buy a new game for that. I just go and buy about 5 chocolate bars. It's all good.
Nice. Wayne, sir, you're number 4.
My number 4 is relatively recent, within the last year, I think. Easily within the last year, is Men at Work.
Ooh, okay.
Men at Work is a amazing little dexterity game, and dexterity games people can immediately connect with, because you think things like Jenga and stuff like that everyone's played, where you're essentially building a tower together, and this is that, but competitive, and it has a funny little theme where it's like my normal common garden day job. It's like health and safety at work. It's that. So you got these amazingly produced wooden little figures with hard hats, and then you've got a bunch of other like sort of wooden blocks and beams, and you have this very simple deck of cards. And it does something very clever, this game. You play a card, and you read the rule from the reverse of the card you've played, plus the rule on top of the card that's revealed.
Okay.
So you have this constantly switching rule set.
So you're building cards on top of cards, are you? Or?
No, you're just revealing them and doing what it says. So it might be, put a worker on this girder in the building site. See, that's what you do. Then the next one might be, put a new girder on the building site. So that's what you do. The next one might be, put this tiny little brick on the worker's shoulder. So that's what you do. And you go around in turns, constantly building this really sketchy-looking, unsafe building site as you're forced to put different coloured girders in different positions. And then someone eventually causes a work accident and loses a safety certificate, because of course.
He's like, oh shit, I lost my job.
I lost my job. Once you lose 3 of those, you're out. And it's really, really cool, because it's kind of like Jenga, where you're building this ever-growing thing, but when someone knocks it over, that's not the end of the game. You can continue and sort of rebuild it in a ever more unsafe working site. And even funnier, when you knock something down and part of the work site goes down to the ground, the next player has to sort of dig out the dead bodies of the workers that have fallen.
Oh, no way.
And if they cause something to knock over, they also lose the safety certificate and their turn ends. So really, really cool. I've never had a bad game of it. You can play it to anyone of almost any age.
So what's the end game?
Just don't be the last one to have your safety certificates left, or partway through the game, the site manager will turn up, Rita, at which point the game starts to reward you for having the highest part on the site. So you're constantly taking more risks with the equipment, putting girders up there just to be the highest. And if you get, I think it's 2 awards for having the highest thing, the game ends and you just win. So you're either trying to have the highest thing there and collect those highest thing awards, or you need to have your be the only one left with safety certificates. It's really freaking cool.
I need to play this. It sounds really cool.
It's also, I'm probably making it sound really boring. I do apologise, but it's super fun. You're constantly on your edge, just like sort of Jenga.
I like the fact that it doesn't end when it tumbles. That's That's a win for me straight away.
You just lose a life. I guess
it's something different. Yeah,
very cool. I'll show you later.
I'm not going to lie though. As soon as you mentioned Rita and all that catastrophe,
Rita?
All I've got going on in my mind is like Rita Repulsa is the site manager.
At the 10,000 years of me.
I haven't played that game. However, that sounds very much like the game that I have played, and I would have had on this list if I owned it, which was Tokyo Highway, which is another dexterity game, but you're building motorways and stuff and then placing cars. And obviously, if you...
They are literally meeples with hard hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
So you're literally making a building site of those wooden girders and then adding the meeples to it, which have little beams and little bricks on it. Yeah, very, very good. But yeah, dexterity games are a great shout to bring new people in.
Agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Good shout. We'll go to number 3 then.
Number 3.
Chris, back to you.
Right, this one's a curve.
Curveball. It's just the curveball.
Yeah, because I had this game. I no longer own the game.
Cheating.
Wait.
Hang on. You don't own it. That is unacceptable.
I know. But my love for it is not done, and all will become clear. And it is Exit Abandoned Cabin.
Right. Okay.
But what
is this part of the Exit games?
Exit, which is an escape room game.
Okay.
Now, I bought this one for my mum and my sister. We did it. I ended up just being my mum, my stepdad, my partner, and we had a great time. I always class my mum as a new game because every different game is a brand new game.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter if she played an area control game yesterday.
Yeah.
If this was an area, it's still...
Yeah.
Right.
So I bought the Abandoned Cabin. It was absolutely brilliant. The whole game works flawlessly without... You can't work out how it works out flawlessly because it's a game in a box and it's an escape room and you do have to escape it. And even if you get it wrong, it goes, no, you're not quite there. And you're like, how do you know that I was going to do that to get me? And it worked flawlessly to the point where we managed to escape. Everyone loved it. And then
You got rid of it.
No, because you rip up. You rip up components.
See, I've never played it,
you fold stuff. You break it. The game becomes unusable after one game. But then and I've got the...
That explains the multiple boxes of it.
Exit,
okay.
And they're about between 15 and 25 quid, depending on what it is. But we're doing it in such a way that they're going to be scattered over the months and coming stuff. So I've got now the Murder on the Orient, or the Orient Express.
Nice.
So that's ready to go. So if anybody ever came round and then knew...
So you can just buy any box and just go straight in. You don't have to buy a core box, anything like that at all.
Each game is its
like
own individual game, and it can only be played once. So as long as you'd be like, because escape rooms are all the new things. Everyone sort of plays it. You go, you into escape rooms? Yeah, they're about 60 quid to do it. Yeah. Well, here's one, 20 quid, all of us. If you want to do it, you do 5 each, or...
I didn't realise you got rid of them, because I've seen many YouTubers with like a collection of them in the background. I'm like, well...
So they probably either don't chuck them away...
Yeah, or they haven't had to cut up the box for some purpose.
Yeah.
So, which I did. Now,
which I didn't
why have I chucked the box away? But it's gone. So, but then... Because they're so good... You kind of just go and pick... there's one for a haunted house. You like scary clowns. There's one for a space station. There's one for aliens. There's one for underwater. There's one... So you go, what's your niche?
Yeah.
Let's escape from that thing. And it would be a case of, if I needed to, I would then buy that exact exit game for...
So how does it work, Chris? You have to roll dice? Or do you have to read stuff?
Basically,
or what is it you have to do?
The one I played, you walk in, you're staying in a cabin... Doors lock.
And it will say this on like a card or anything.
And then you basically have little puzzles and you just sort of fold stuff, maybe have to cut stuff.
Yeah, it'll come with some materials, I think, right? They'll just have some stuff in the box.
And you just work around it, and each box is different. And you'll have like little cut out stuff, and you're like, oh. And then someone will go, because you'll be like sitting, because the great thing about this game is if there's 2 of you and you're stuck, you're stuck. When we had 5, even the person you're like, how did you get that? The one person you wasn't expected to get that answer. Yeah. There is so much interaction that the next game might not be as good, but this game was so good that if it was still usable, I would use it. I wouldn't mind escaping again. I probably wouldn't do it, but you game master it. But the new box is going to, and it's basically, I think I'm going to buy this game, do it, replace it. So I'm always going to have
the next one or a
next
new one.
one in.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of it's a grey area, but it's still a series of. It's basically just a new expansion of each one, but you kind of you don't ever. Well, you can keep the box, but you don't...
That's like an easy Saturday night in, really.
Yeah.
Apart from renting a movie, you just get the game.
That's it. You go, instead of going, let's get a pizza in, you get the pizza, I'll get a game, boom. And then you escape. And it was basically... And I've got this one for when my sister does play, and she's never played board games or anything, or family things. This is what Christmas and like that sort of...
But if it's simple as folding all kinds...
Definitely
going to
be busted out for Christmas. There's another one. So I'm going to be taking the other games there. So for new,
and the thing is, they're so well designed as well because they know that it's not a game that you can open up and learn to then teach to someone else.
Yes.
So they make sure the rules are so crystal clear that you can all go in blind.
You have to go in with no knowledge.
Even the reviews are like, well, it's good.
We can't really.
I can't tell you anything about it.
But yeah, you can't because it spoils the whole thing. Surely,
it spoils the whole thing. But it was so good. And what it was, it's the participation between all. Yeah. So if you have new
solving
characters,
a puzzle together,
they will just love that whole experience.
I can give you something you can ask for Christmas for now.
Every year
they now do the calendar.
Yeah,
so every year you open the door and it gives you a little escape room.
Yeah. Escape room,
that's pretty cool.
They're about £40. It's pretty decent.
They're not cheap, but.
Cool
The way you look at it is 24 days, that's 24 escape rooms.
I saw it last year, and I tried to look at it, because I got it just after, and I was like, oh, it's not, it's sold out within seconds.
Yeah. But. No one can tell a missus to get me for Christmas.
Yeah, totally worth it. I look at it every year and go, I really want to get one of those.
No, good chat. You've given me some info I never knew about these games.
I can't recommend it enough for you.
They are great.
Especially even with your mates. You might just want to play, just have a good laugh. And
I've played one. I have one that's still shrink wrapped at my house that I really want to play, But again,
Yeah,
it's
again,
finding
that's
that
what I
good
bust it out
game
with.
group, isn't it?
I think Abandoned Cabin is the one I've also played, and I did that for a Halloween night.
Well, I thought, do you know what?
Nice.
Let's look at the reviews and just tell me which one overall they think is the best one, and then because as long as the first one's great, you go, well, it's not as good as that one. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
But if the first one was rubbish and it died,
You're never going to try the next one.
You're never
It's like,
gonna try it.
it's like Blockbusters when you're ready 3 for a tenner.
Yeah.
The free. Nice one. Try this one. No, good shout, sir.
That's very,
good shout.
very good shout. Yeah, I'd not thought of that because again, that's the kind of game that's perfect. Because even if you don't play, if you're acting as a DM, you're reading that flavor text. Just get really involved in it.
I don't
Whole
think
new
you'd
group of
remember
people.
the whole
Whole thing
You'd be
anyway.
like,
Oh,
oh, yeah, that's how it, but
yeah, so that'd be a fun experience just watching that happen. Yeah, definitely.
That's
shout,
very good.
sir.
Very
Oh,
good.
yeah, and it depends. There are little clues as well. So you I don't know how it knows I need a hint,
But it
but it
knows-
does. But then
it's very smart.
then it kind of like, oh, you're an expert. Little bit, you get your little.
You get a grade at
Grade
the
at
end,
the end,
depending
which
on
is
how well
always
you've
nice.
done.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
As you solve puzzles, as you maybe to draw a different card.
Yeah, I'm too good for this. Let's go on to the next one.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, worth a go.
Yeah, so my number 3, I put it down as the co-op side of the top 5. Now, I can name a bunch of co-op games, but unfortunately, I don't own a bunch of co-op games. So for this one, I have picked Horrified.
Yep.
Nice.
My Horrified is essentially my version of the P word. I'm not going to say it because someone else might have it in their top 5. But I love this game. I love Universal Monsters. It's a great theme to get people into it around Halloween time, like Wayne mentioned about the no exit games. It's simply a case of working together, defeat monsters, save villages, and pretty much save the day. What more could you not like about a game like that, really? Easy to learn, easy to play.
Brilliant.
And the American Monsters, it needs to be played as well.
Awesome
But
theme.
they're both the same, yeah. It's just such
Really
a great
good theme
theme.
on it.
Horrified is a fantastic game, and I think that's a brilliant choice. So it's a co-op game as well, which is a great example of a game to bring people on if they're worried just about losing or not getting the rules right, because you can work together.
Yes,
and that makes
yeah.
it so easy to.
The only
bring
issue
people
with
in.
picking Horrified was the theme. Not everyone loves movie monsters. Not everyone likes the old, horror classic sort of thing. So there was a worry on that side. But as a co-op game,
It's great.
to get people involved. I just had to.
I think
go
it's a
with that
really
at the
fun
end of the day.
theme, dude. I think,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would like it. I think it's really, really, it's a great game. I think.
Co-op games in general, as you said, are really good for this. And I'm kicking myself that, spoiler, there's not one single co-op game in my list.
Oh, there we go.
Which is very unlike me, because
There we
it's usually
go.
one of the ones I go for.
Hey,
So there you
But
go.
that's a cracking choice, mate. Yeah, Horrified is brilliant. Either version.
yeah, short
good.
but sweet. Everyone knows it. Horrified. Number 3, sir. What's your
Very
number 3?
good. So we're starting to go into the newer games now, which is good. This one,
Dino Genesis expansion.
No, it's not. It's not Dino Genesis expansion. It's not any of the Marvel.
Marvel Legendary.
So this one is. I got this one because I really liked the theme, and it's something that people love to see on the table, and that is Project L.
Oh yeah, it was good. That was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
I enjoyed that.
You've played that recently. Very, very simple and easy to
Absolutely.
understand. I taught you it in what, 5 minutes?
If that.
So Project L, basically, you will have up to 8 puzzles that are in front of you, and you have 4 actions on your turn. Using those 4 actions, you can take puzzles, you can play what are essentially Tetris pieces to fill in those puzzles, complete the puzzles, and then do it all again. So 4 turns each turn, and it goes around the table. When the piles are completely empty, or the black pile, more to the point, is empty, the end is triggered. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Nice.
So those
I've not heard of it.
those puzzles will give you. They'll either give you points or they'll give you different Tetris pieces. So you can build up your Tetris pieces to do bigger and better puzzles to get more points.
Nice.
And stuff like that. It's a really,
Upgrade,
really
isn't
simple
it?
game.
You can upgrade your pieces, can't you?
You can upgrade
Yeah.
your pieces, as an action. There's a master action where you get to place 1 Tetris piece on all of your puzzles that you've got in front of you. Really, really simple.
It's a good shout.
Really, really
I'm-
easy game. I will have to run you through it at some
Yeah.
point.
It's fun,
sounds
dude. I'm considering getting it for myself because my dad loves Tetris. He is a Tetris fiend. That guy is a champion
you
at
know-
Tetris. He could beat me any day at Tetris.
I think, and I really actually quite like those sort of tetromino/polyomino style games where I get to manipulate those and make. I think, there's loads of those out as well, and there's some great ones.
I mean, when you say like a puzzle game, people instantly put up the blockade. Oh no! I don't want to do a puzzle game. No. It's fine. It's not what you're picturing it to be.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
brilliant.
going to be hard. It's going to be very, very simple. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of I suppose, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
So you know what pieces you've got and what will fit in well. But I think, especially if it's someone's first game, are you going to be that harsh that you're not going to let them just have a little mini test? I mean, not take the whole lot and dump it in the middle and go, oh, yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, well, I can see
tile
that
laying's
will
a good
fit,
one,
but
mate.
will that one fit there?
Anything like tile laying or polyomino laying, I think, great choices for new gamers.
Yeah,
for sure.
and we had 3 players, 20 minutes?
3 players, 20 minutes, nice
that-
and easy, and the style of it as well.
Yeah.
You know, black and white for your boards, very nice and clean, and then those bright colours for the Tetris pieces just makes it pop.
Yep.
And it's
Oh,
always the
that
case,
was
no, that's the piece I was going to take. That was the bit I was going to take, yeah. Very good choice, sir. I like it. Games Master, which are number 3.
How do I get past the level?
I feel like I'm talking to Patrick Moore, eh?
Just a floating
Oh, we need to picture Photoshop of Wayne's head on Games Master. That'd be
Please
awesome.
do.
Wait,
Please do.
how do I kill the bad guy and write the sub?
Well, you need to. All right.
How do I get rid of the exposure diet in the winter?
Oh, maybe I'll be able to help you with that. No, yeah, please do that. That'd be great. Do that for this episode.
That'd be awesome.
The t-shirt.
My
Yeah.
number 3 is a crossover with Jason.
Oh, we got a clash.
First one of the
Yeah.
Titans.
Yeah, of the Titans. That's right. And it's my most recent game that we played last night, Mr. Ant.
Downforce.
Downforce.
Yes.
Exactly. Couple of reasons for this. This is a racing game. Racing games, again, people just know that theme from childhood. Typically, they'll know something about that, and they're like, oh, we've got to race around that and finish. Brilliant. Easy peasy. Wonderful thing about this is no dice involved. You get to do a little bit of card play. You just shuffle out some random cards to everyone, and the cards will tell you what cars you're going to move around this track. Really nice little production, little miniature F1 cars, F1 style cars.
Yeah.
A couple of lovely tracks that you can play on. You've got drivers that have their own little powers. It's just wonderful. You get a little bit of interaction as well. There's a very simple bid at the beginning. So I want to bid $5 million for this car because this car's got this particular special power. Great. You get to use that through the race. But the price you paid comes off your total score at the end. Yep. So how much do you invest in your car versus...
Or cars, yeah.
Exactly. Versus how much do you want to save that money and win the race instead. So and you'll get winnings for actually winning the race. If your car wins the race, you'll get winning for betting on the cars that you think will do well. So there's a bunch of ways to really sell this game to a bunch of different people. Oh, you like racing cars? You like play this game. Oh, you like betting? Oh, you might like this game. Oh, you like a little bit of hand management? Oh, you might like this game. Like, there's a few ways. And it's not difficult to teach at all. Not difficult to learn.
You literally taught 3 of us last night as well, didn't
Three
you?
brand new players in 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and that was me having only played it once. So it's I think a good choice from you, and
A good choice for you as well.
I'll pat myself on the back. This is a great choice, Wayne.
I'll be
Well
honest,
done.
I'm really glad you brought it back up because I want to talk about it again.
It's a
Because
great
it
game.
really is great, and because we didn't mention the betting earlier.
No,
And that's one thing.
I had to keep quiet because I had it.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you brought it up because, the betting side of it is great because it's like, oh, well, I'm never any good at racing. Well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Do you like?
Just bet properly.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
what do you mean? Well, it's like, well, you can bet on someone else. You don't have to bet on yourself. And then you can snide playing cards that boost that car. And
To
not
get them
even
up to a
get-
different, better
Screw
position.
them right over.
It sounds
Exactly.
really good. Like
It's
I
good.
would- I would.
It's
But,
very simple too.
I like the balancing out of when you buy more cars that you can only stick to one power. Because I
Yes.
thought you'd
Yeah.
be too OP if that
Yeah,
was the
a bunch
case.
of different powers.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that was. I was like, oh, I can't do that because if I buy that, I've got 2 powers. I've got to try and catch up with.
I think this game would actually play really well at 3 players because everyone typically would end up with 2 cars. Otherwise, you'll have everyone will have at least 1 car, but some people might have 2 cars. But some people might have even 3 cars in weird situations.
Yeah.
But
What is the player count?
it's up to 6.
2 to 6.
So there's always 6
2 to
cars
6,
on the table.
Right.
So if there's less than 6, then people are going to end up with multiple cars.
Yeah.
Another thing I don't know if you're aware, Downforce is actually available to play for free on Board Game Arena.
Well, there we go.
Oh, nice.
So you can actually go and play it.
So you could probably answer this one more then. What's the percentage on if you win the race, do you more likely win, or is it a case of that
Do you know
it kind
what?
of split 50-50?
Yes, because typically if you win the race, you'll be betting on yourself, so you'll get points both ways because you know you're going to win.
That is the perfect way to win. Is if you can win the race and have betted on yourself the entire time, you are going to get the maximum points. However, as Wayne said, if you've gone in at the start and paid £6 million for 2 different cars, you're going to lose 12 million of your winnings.
Yes.
Which could mean that someone who's come in last place but has betted properly
and that only owns one car
and only owns one car and paid 1 million, he's taking only
he'll take the
million
overall
off.
and he'll take the overall win.
Because I came 5th last night, but still came second on the score.
On the score,
yeah.
That's
So
the bit
second
I
game,
like
you came
about
second next
how
to
the
me.
game. You don't. That's where I like the sound of it. It's like you don't win it
Yeah.
until it's all
if
done.
You earn more on the betting
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say my tactic tends to go more towards buying a cheap-ass car and figuring out throughout the game who is out in front, who's getting there, and it's like, right, I'm betting on that car.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not losing that much. I now need to make sure I bet correctly.
Yes.
And then it's like, right, what cards have I got that will benefit them while also not making it blatantly obvious that I'm betting on that car?
Yeah, so they don't immediately try and stop you by driving you up behind someone. But it's so easy to play as well. You just you play a card from your hand. The card will tell you what cars you need to move and how far you need to move them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Especially when I got cars that all move the black car.
Yeah. I may have been the black car. He was like, I can't stop moving you. I was like, great. Keep moving.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Excellent choice, sir.
Thank you.
Nice.
I was going to say, this is quite newish as well to you, and it's on
Very
the
new.
list straight away.
I wanted it forever. I know all about it.
Yeah.
I've played it before at the comic shop a couple of times. I just own it. This is my newest one that I own, and it's great. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go to the number 2s then.
Number 2.
Chris.
Right.
We're getting close to the
We are
wire,
getting
son.
number 2. Right. So this one was technically my gateway game, the one that got me involved into new games. And
That's one of yours then.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and this one, this one I'll say in a minute, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, and it might not be, the theme might not be for everybody. And this is Secret Hitler.
Ooh.
Now, other dictatorships are available. There are Hell Hydra. There is is it Hell Hydra?
Yeah,
It's
Hell
basically,
Hydra,
if
Is it the same game?
it's the same game,
Similar,
but you basically you play some cards, and your job in this game is to stop Hitler becoming Chancellor, because then we all know what happens,
Well, what happens there?
right? So if you win, you lose because Hitler's come to power.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the idea, so obviously with the Hydra one, which I don't own, you stop Hydra infiltrating, I guess, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, at the beginning of you pick your cards. One will be Hitler, ones will be fascists and liberals, wasn't it?
Fascists and liberals, yeah. It's like you get dealt a card that tells you who you are.
You know, and then it's like, is it Murder in Hong Kong? Someone will close their eyes and you go, right, Hitler, open your eyes. And then you go, fascists, open up. And you see, he knows the fascists. And then that's it. And then basically, you got 3 cards. You pick 2 of them. And they'll either say a liberal or a fascist thing. Now, the great thing about this is you always pass to the next person to the right of you. And sometimes you can pick 2 fascist cards and a liberal, or sometimes they'll all be all fascist cards. And then you hand it to the next person, and then they have to put down a fascist
they
card.
play the card, yeah.
And then you're like, fascist! And they're like, no, I'm not. He gave me 2 fascist cards. You go, no, I gave you a liberal, mate. And then it's like, there's so much shade, and like, that was the great thing. Everybody was just shout, and it was just so much interaction. And then down the line, like, you can assassinate Hitler, but then you miss and you kill the wrong person, and it's like, you're like, what are you doing, you idiot? And it's like the laughs and the stuff that we just shouted, you're a fascist.
It's hilarious enough. It's amazing. I'll tell you what, it is a very good, I still think it's a very, very good social deduction game. It's a cracking one. It's very funny. It's the theme is a bit edgelord.
The aim of the game is to find Hitler.
Find Hitler.
Yeah,
If you're the liberals,
if you're Hitler, it's your job to become Chancellor.
yes.
Because then you have ultimate power.
Okay.
And then as the liberals, you've got.
So do you have to become that in a certain amount of turns?
Yeah,
or?
you've got.
Basically, there is a little marker that says one person's the Chancellor, and that will move around the table. And then you've got someone else as well who's the...
Because at the beginning you take a vote. If you go, right, I think we know Jason's...
We know he's
It's always Jason.
Yeah,
we know Jason's Hitler.
pass it on, you go, and then like the Liberals are like, no,
pass
we cannot vote him in. We cannot vote him in.
As
He might not
Chancellor.
even be it. And then Hitler's sitting to the right, just waiting to be
Chancellor.
sworn in. And they were like, right, let's get him in. And then it's so snide.
Yeah, it's great.
And like the way you do it, it's like the rise of, it's just so much fun. And I think you could do the same with Hydra, like if it's not your thing. It's just I had so much fun with this.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a history buff.
It was
I've
great.
always enjoyed learning about that.
Hydra's the same as this.
Hydra
Jason.
is very, very similar. There are certain mechanics in the game where there'll be multiple Hydra agents, for example, and at any one point you can sort of declare yourself like maybe they're closing in on someone else who is another Hydra agent. It's like, look,
So you'll take the blame instead.
I'm just gonna say fuck it, flip my thing over. Hail Hydra! I mean, you can't really say Heil Hitler in public.
No, but that's the same thing. But like when you're the fascist and you know that they're closing in on, you can kind of then go. You can make yourself. Well, he's got to be Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's. We just had so much fun, and that game was brought to the table when none of us played.
Yes.
And he brought that out because we played poker and there was a bit of bluffing, and he was like, "Oh, you like a bit of bluffing? This is
right.
this is bluff." And it brought it to the table for that very reason, and then obviously after that it was like, "Oh, you like the traitor aspect?" We went to Dead of Winter, and it all has a knock-on effect from this game and how much fun we had on that first game. Because if it died,
We would not... Yeah, exactly.
it might not. I might not have got the
Well,
buzz.
I'm not got into war games. Yeah.
And to be fair, you didn't even own it, did you? You
I
made the copy.
sort of printed it.
You
'cause it
printed
wasn't-
the copy.
I
It
printed
was
out,
its
did a print and
own
play.
travel, and it was so good. Like,
But that's
little
good with
pockets.
social reduction. It's literally just a few cards.
It's
isn't
amazing.
it?
It's amazing how-
It's an easy board, and it just my one's all done in like where it looks
You have,
like
like,
an
the
old,
official real one,
the
yeah.
old map sort of looking, and it's got that sort of
Oh, you got
yellow
the creme de la
sheet.
creme edition.
Yeah.
While I don't think you can get the actual copy for fairly obvious reasons nowadays,
Oh no, it's still
pretty
available.
much is it?
Yeah, no, because I only got it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't realise they still had it in print, but
Yeah.
essentially all social deduction games are descendants of Secret Hitler.
Or the Resistance, or
others.
Avalon, or whatever.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
similar. It's the same family of
It's
stuff.
on
isn't it?
Amazon. It's
Yeah.
on. I mean, it was never. There was never a warning or anything like that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
not anything. I guess
I mean,
everything
It's not
could be-
promoting it. At the end of the day.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
the
You're
theme
there
to it,
stop
isn't it?
You're there to
It's-
stop Hitler.
Yeah.
Is the game.
That's one of those games, though, that I will say you constantly see the threads of, should
but
we
you're not
should we
bringing-
take this game out of production?
You're not
and
bringing
all
that out for grandma and granddad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dinner,
exactly,
like
yeah.
at Christmas.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
bringing it out for mates or whoever like that sort of. But you
I'll
got
take that on holiday with me to Thailand, like with people that didn't play, and they had a.
I take it's as quick as a normal just social deduction game as
30
well.
minutes, 40
10,
minutes.
yeah,
Not
like you
even
just
that.
bang out a few games. It was like 10, 15, anything.
Yeah, anything for sort of
'Cause you
15 minutes,
could-
half an hour. Like.
You can close in if you're someone dumb. You can close in pretty quick, or you don't have a clue. So
Yeah. It's very good. Yeah,
I like social deduction games.
I love some-
Milter!
No, I love it. But then that was
Yeah, man, I
that was
like
it. They were. It was good because you don't get to do that.
So that was the
stuff.
game that made you a gamer.
Yeah,
Nice.
But you can't be that person in
How's
real
that-
life.
your
Because
number
you wouldn't
one must
have
be
any
like
friends,
something good,
If
yeah.
you know what I mean, to be a social deduction.
Yeah.
If that was you, where you're just snide and you're out to just.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't be invited to any board games. You'd be like, that guy's a dick. But in a game,
it's great. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
brilliant.
You could
Someone's
do the
gotta play
snidest move
It's an actor, isn't it? You're playing an acting
Exactly.
role of.
of playing the game.
That's
yeah.
what I tell them anyway.
Yeah. But then
He's
that's
just a
a
dick.
psychopath, isn't it?
No, it's good, man.
Good shout, sir.
No,
Good
yeah,
shout.
it was great. I mean, yeah, just with the theme, it's basically that's the caveat.
Anything. But I think it's great.
Good shout, sir.
Very good shout.
So my number 2 is basically, I put it under as, obviously you guys have had a few jobs in your life. Have you ever had a team bonding day
Yeah,
at work?
yeah.
Okay. So I would
Have
put
one
this...
tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. I would put this game under the team bonding category, all right?
Okay.
Because I reckon it would fucking work as a team bonding day.
Okay.
My number 2 is Roll Camera, where you get to
Okay.
make your own movie.
I've heard this about you.
It's a really good game. Literally a game where you have to work together. It is essentially a co-op game, but the fact that you work as a group, you can have up to 6 players max, where you get given a schedule, a budget, and it's simply roll the dice and place your dice on certain parts of the board to make certain things like cut scenes together, build sets.
Nice.
Every day you have a problem you need to sort out, and if you don't, it moves further down. So it's like, do you deal with that first before we start doing this? You can get to change the name of the movie because you get given a random name at the start. It could be like My Gorilla's Valentine or something or whatever. You can change that. You can alternate. If you can talk to your editor. Everyone has a role in the movie, like a director, a cinematographer, an editor. The editor can swap your scenes out that you've made. The scoring system is brilliant because basically, if you have a track whether it's good or bad, good, bad, or middle. So you lose the game if it's in the middle. Right. It has to be either really shit or really good to win the game. So it's brilliant.
That's really smart.
If it's in the middle, if it's meh, you've lost.
Yeah,
Don't even bother.
You can laugh at shit movies.
Yeah, exactly.
You can watch great, but anything meh.
That's it.
Turn this off.
It's literally the bottom said it's so good it's bad. It's so bad it's good. So that's a winning condition.
Fantastic.
You can change the script. You can change how you can bring ideas to the table. You can hire interns as well. There's so much to it. It's brilliant, and the fact that you have you have a little wheel that you pass to a player every time it's their turn. So say for example you've got 6 schedule, so that schedule goes down 1 every time it goes to a new player. So you're going to have to work on building more schedule, more budget goes down every time you pass to a new player. That wheel goes down. So to work together to deal with this, to deal with problems, to deal with schedule, to deal with budget, is a great thing to interact with new players.
That's really nice.
Simply just rolling dice, placing dice here, dice there, deal with this, deal with that. Next player, done. Make a movie. It's a great time.
Very cool.
Highly recommend.
Nice. I need to play that as well.
It's brilliant, honestly.
God,
I've always liked the look of that game. I must be honest.
Really
I've never
cool.
even heard of that.
I'm going to have to look into
You
that.
guys will love it, honestly.
Yeah, I
Jason, number 2, sir.
Okay. So Wayne will know what this game is as soon as I state the first fact, because this game is the winner of the coveted Kenner Spiel des Jahres for 2022.
I know exactly what this is.
Beating off Dune Imperium and Cryptid.
Yep.
It is
The very green.
Living Forest.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Now,
I didn't know you had this.
I do. I do
Okay.
indeed, yes. Really, really like this game. Whether it was worthy of beating those other 2 games is up for debate, but
That's another question entirely,
we won't
yeah.
go into that.
That was a
yet.
jab at our hearts there, wasn't it?
I know.
But yes, it is a really, really easy game to learn. I love the fact that you can teach everyone how to play the game, but then they can go off in so many different directions to try and win, but it's all done from that one teach.
Right.
And yet there's probably 6, 7 different paths to victory, I guess. While there's only, 3 winning conditions, you can do it in so many different ways in that game, and it is so very, very clever. It's beautiful on the table. The production quality on it is
it quite big on the
fantastic.
table?
No,
or?
it's tiny.
No?
You'd get easily on this table here, with space.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
This game is so phenomenally accessible. It's like 23 quid.
Yeah.
It's so... The value is nuts, so I think you can still pick it up for about that. And it looks great for what it does. It genuinely, for that amount of money, it's a great little production. Really looks really great. I think it's a fabulous game.
Yep. So you are essentially it's sort of got a semi-cooperative aspect to it, because you've got to stop the forest from burning down as a team, but you're all against each other.
It's very cool. Yeah, it has this really peculiar multi-faceted path to victory. You could either do it by putting out more fire than anyone else, by growing more trees than anyone else, or what was the other one?
Claiming 12 locusts.
Collecting more flowers than anyone else.
That's the key thing.
It's great.
It's the rule of 12. If you've got 12 of something on the table,
You win.
You are basically at the victory condition, and people have basically got to try and stop
So a
it.
shortish game? Or?
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
30 to 40 minutes.
It's absolutely excellent. It's a really wonderful production of like simple deck building. It's a great way to introduce deck building to people.
Yeah.
Everyone has the same deck of cards at the beginning, and you might add a few more in.
Okay.
Just an element of douchebaggery as well. Like when you're on the middle sort of track, you can move your... It's a
what is
sort
it
of
with
pawn,
forest
isn't
and
it?
douchebaggery? It's like...
It's being a secret douchebag in the forest.
yeah.
You've not heard of the old forest douchebag.
But yeah, you move around that sort of the circular track, and if you happen to jump over another player's pawn, It was like, oh, I'll have one of those tokens.
Yeah, you steal one of the
Thank you
tokens
very
from
much.
them. It's very
okay.
cool.
Douchebag.
Yeah, there's a little bit of thievery involved, a little bit of deck building, and also a little bit of push your luck, which people quite tend to
Definitely,
like.
yeah.
Everyone likes that feeling. Oh, do I go for broke or do I stay safe here? And it does that too. So it does quite a few things,
And it's
quite
a
well.
really
Nice.
cleverly designed game as well. Because like we said, there's different avenues to victory. The fire expands every time people buy cards
Yeah,
from the display. So if someone
everyone wants to buy cards, but it's going to put more fire.
exactly. So it's
Ah,
I'm
right.
going to buy that card. I'm going to buy that card. I'm going to buy that card. Okay, well that's immediately, even if they're from the cheapest row, that's 6 fire. A value of fire going into the fire.
So the more
Which
you add to your deck, the more the fire's going to
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so there's
but then at the
there's
same
a consequence
time, you
then.
need
Yeah.
those cards because when you're pushing your luck, that's where your symbols are coming out.
which will get you,
Which
more
will put
bonuses
out the
and stuff.
fire.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
you're kind of like, oh, I need to buy the cards, but Wayne has just bought 4 of the bastards, and if I buy another one next turn, we're going to be really struggling to put out a fire that's like 11, 12 value.
But I might not care because I might be at my victory condition, so I won't care. So for example,
It's
it's
fair.
very good. It's an absolutely worthy winner. It's way more accessible than something like doing Imperium, and you could easily
Is it big?
not
No,
really.
you're
You
saying
could
it
fit it on
wasn't
table.
that
It comes in sort of separate bits. It's really cool.
And another game that you can play for free on Board Game Arena.
And you
Nice.
can see our video review on YouTube. Little plug.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes, indeed. I think we did a podcast
Plug,
on it as well.
plug it
at the
in,
same
plug
time,
it in, sir.
Yep.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's it. Really, really good game. Would recommend it to anyone.
Nice.
Yep.
Games Master.
Get the golden joystick out.
Oh, is that what he calls it?
The golden meeple. I don't even know. I was going to say on my 2 hairy dice.
Welcome to the show, Wayne.
Okay, sorry.
So you don't want to say the golden meeple because meeple is mini people.
I stand by my statement. No, my number 2 is my set collecting game because people quite remember. You might do collecting. Doing normal deck of card games. Collect 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. Collect sets of the same thing. And this is that. This is Ticket to Ride Europe.
Okay.
So Ticket to Ride is fabulous. Normal Ticket to Ride would be fine, but Europe is the one that I own, and it is a brilliant game. Released in 2003, the original, I think. Days of Wonder is the publisher, designed by Alan on Moon, and it has sold buckets and has launched numerous spin-offs and editions of for different cities, different regions. And it's brilliant. It's so simple. It's a very nice, attractive theme. You are essentially trying to build the biggest rail infrastructure. And you have these lovely train pieces. Everyone has a different colour of train piece. And you put them on a world map or a city map or a country map, depending on the version that you've got. And it's just really easy going. But also has the potential to get very ruthless. So on your turn... Really simple, such brilliantly simple rules as well. You tell people to either draw cards, or play trains, or pick new places where they're aiming to go to. That's it. That's all you do. Then the next person goes, they're either going to draw cards, they're going to play trains, or they're going to pick new destinations to put their trains to. And
What's on the cards again?
It's just they're just colours.
It's to say, it's the colour you can put places on,
and you're collecting sets of colours. When I collect 4 red ones, for example, I can play a train length of 4 on a red track,
right?
As an example. Or if I collect 5 yellow cards, I can put 5 trains on a yellow bit of track. And I get more points the more trains I can get out, and then I'll get more points depending on if I can complete these big sort of route objective cards that I'm drawing. It's brilliant, really simple to teach, really simple to play. Plays in 45 minutes or less, and also, despite being very relaxed and breezy, can be quite cutthroat when you get like a good few games in. We start blocking off people's routes when you realise, you're trying to get from like the US down to like the middle of Russia. Well, how about that tiny little bit of train track that you need? How about I just put my train there? Well, sorry, minus 10 points for you.
Douchebaggery. It's such a cute game.
Is Europe the one that allows you to use other people's track at a cost?
Yeah, there's like a stations thing that it introduces.
That's the one. Yeah.
You can play without that. In fact, I've played my copy just the base game. You don't have to add those in at all. But yeah, they sort of make the game slightly easier and slightly less cutthroat. So it's up to you if you want to add them in. They give you a choice of doing
Replayability, isn't it? So-
replayability as well. It's a cracking game. Any version of Ticket to Ride, recommended.
Nice, good choice. Let's get down to the final ones, guys.
It's number one.
Here we go, sir.
Here we are.
So your Secret Hitler was quite a good pick. I'm intrigued to what number one is now.
No, this one is, I would say,
The worst pick. Worst pick.
It's a Butte by Eric Lang.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not Blood Rage or Rising Sun.
I think I might know what it is, actually.
It's called Secrets.
Yes.
Nice.
Now,
Okay.
it's a game that I didn't realise it was his until I was doing some research, and then I was like, oh, it's a social deduction game. Eric Lang. Don't even need to read it. Buy it. Done. Right? But the beauty of this game is like where Secret Hitler falls down on the theme. This one's a little bit more cartoony and a bit more slapstick and a bit,
Yes.
like pin-up sort of stuff. So I've got some props. So
Christmas
there's no
props.
reason for them to be, but these are your
Lovely.
counters. So what you have is you have the CIA and the KGB, and then your job is to basically have as much points for either side. Now, everyone has it all, each get one, and then in elsewhere,
Everyone has one of these little tiles.
if you're not interested in being, I don't really like that, that's not for me, you could just be the hippie who just wants peace. Just wants to sit there, have sex, and smoke some drugs.
Yeah.
So basically, at the beginning of the game, depending on the player count, you'd either look at your card, and then you might look at the card or the chip to the. But then likewise, and then your job is to, if you're the KGB or the CIA, is to get the most points for your thing, and obviously, hippie, the least points. Now, where the fun happens is you might look at your card, and then everybody does. But then when you start picking up cards, they have abilities to move chips, look at chips, swap chips. So at the beginning, you know that you're a hippie, but by the end of it, you've lost track. Because once you've looked at it once, you're not allowed to look at it again.
Right.
Has me
And
screwed.
someone
Yeah.
might play cards that will move your chip identity somewhere else.
But the once you each one person gets a player guide, and it's very easily. There's only like 6, and once you've learned those symbols, it's so easy. And you basically look at it, and you're just throwing shade. You're like, you're okay, and you're having so much fun. And then you're doing really well, and then right at the end, someone swaps your chip, and you've got the most points, but you're now the hippie, and you're like, oh, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And
Damn it.
the great thing about this game, where it differs from other thing, is you have a little board, and each has their own characters on it, and you pick 2 characters, one, and I can't remember if it's a case of that you show them face down, so that they can see, but you might see a scientist or a double agent, and then you look at it, and then you look around, and someone might want. You either want to give the most points to the CIA, so you're getting them the points, but at the same time, you might want to screw the KGB.
KGB,
Because if you get 2 characters the same on your board, it wipes them out. They become null and void, and you're only allowed 4 characters in your game sheet.
Right.
So once you've got that, so you go, and that's a scientist. You're like, I need a scientist. But sorry, if you had a scientist,
But it might not be in scientist,
Yeah, but you'll either go, is that a scientist, or is he giving me the scientist to screw me so I lose my scientist, or is he giving me a card because I'll go, oh, that's a double agent. But one of them was a scientist. Is he screwing me? Like, does he know I'm KGB or does he know I'm CIA? And it's just so much interaction between everybody that we just had so much fun playing it. It sounds a little bit more complicated than what it actually is, but it's just very. It goes around quick. Like one thing would be swap, and you look, and it's just a case of learning it, having it, throw his shade at everybody.
Yeah.
I've wanted to play this for a while. I think
So-
I said that last time I was
Yeah.
at yours because I didn't realise
It's
you had
really-
it.
You're having the great. We played games and you're going yes, and you turn. Oh fuck! I'm not that one. Oh, that's me dumb. I've been silly dumb.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
you're just you got to kind of remember where you are, and it's just so much fun. And I think it just progresses from there. If you have much fun in that, then again, like we say, it progresses onto other games. And I think this one's just a little bit more lighter friendly to get to the table.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
if I have
quite
new
bright and
people,
breezy, actually, yeah.
you go, let's bust this one out instead of Secret Hitler.
Yeah, I think it's a relatively simple social deduction game that plays really quick as well. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes around or whatever it is. Pretty good. I like it.
Yeah,
Good choice.
No, it's good. There's no reason.
I never knew Eric Lang did it.
No, that was it. I mean, these could be cardboard, but there's no.
Yeah, but it's a lovely production
It's
too.
it makes you feel invested. That's why I like because when you get them, you're like, oh, what are these?
Yeah.
And you feel invested in your.
You reckon what new players would be like that as well?
Yeah, because we all played it new, and it was like it was a new sort of game,
Yeah,
and it just progresses. It all. What I've done my list on is how much fun and laughs can they have in a first game
Absolutely.
for them to take away that. Oh, this might be something that I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could laugh that much about these
Yeah.
situations.
Nice.
Bit of social deduction games.
I love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them.
Nice.
Right, my number one is going to be a game that my gamer group are going to love the fact that I put this in my number one. My number one is probably one of the best games to do with friends and new players. Chinatown. Chinatown. It's such a great game. There is a reason why they brought this game back into print. It's fucking awesome.
I've never played it, right?
Never
This is one of
played
those games that I know about and have known about for a long time, and I've
so
never played
good.
it.
Talking
same.
about douchebaggery and fucking over people. Anyway, basically, this game is essentially a board that has numbers on there. You basically have to build tiles, build shops, build buildings, earn your income. Most person with the most money at 5 rounds wins. Each round, though, basically what you do is you draw cards that have buildings on there. You pick 3 out of the 5, whatever it is, put them down on the board. You do a trade action. You build, earn your income every round. The trade action is why you play this game. This is the part where you fuck everyone over. For example, if Jason wants to build a 5 building thing, but I have 1 piece of land at his, how much is he going to offer me for that piece of land?
Right,
Could
yeah.
I fuck him right over and go, I'm going to keep it? Or shall I say 100 grand, please, Jason, or whatnot? There is so much interaction, argumentative, and be like, why can't we just do a straight swap? What the fuck? You know, come on. You know, it's about earning income at the end of the day. It's a simple piece of like putting a token here, putting a building here. You could still essentially build the building, but if you don't build it properly, you don't earn as much as you would if it was a complete building. But the fact is, like, it's you know, it's not just the actual space on the game. You can swap shops as well, or ownership of shops as well. For example, if I had a jewelry, Chris needed a jewelry, but it hasn't on the board yet. Chris, how much are you going to offer me for it? Well, if I give that to you, you'll earn 80 grand, so give me 50. You know, there's just, you know, so much to it, you know, that is just, you know, it screams more replayability. And it's just the fact that people, once you've played it, because again, it's 5 rounds, it goes quick like that, maybe under an hour, if that. You'll want to play it again.
It's been out for a little while,
Been
isn't
out
it?
for ages.
Ages. Like, it's a bit of an OG one.
It was out of print for a long time.
Is it a Euro? Is it like what's the character? Like what the?
You don't have characters. You literally just have. You are a business person. You just have the color of counters. Pop them onto the board when you have the cards of it. So on the next round, you'll be like, "Oh, give me number 1." No, but Jason's got it. Maybe I can swingle something out of it. If I give you a jewelry, Jason, you give me space number 1 for
It's
it.
a
Whatever.
negotiation game,
Yes.
right? Kind of.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
You've got
Yeah.
nothing I need, and I have
So
everything.
give me some money
you
for
want.
Yeah, it's not. I would really like to play it.
You'll love it. You will love it.
I bet.
I know. I think Jason will like it as well. To be honest.
That's been on the
Ruthless.
list for a while. Again, you might be making me spend more money. We'll see. We'll see. I would like
But
to play
yeah,
it with you.
you can get it for £30 if that.
Not
The fact
even
that it's
that
come
much,
back into
that's good.
it's
Yeah.
it's highly worth it. If you've got a great bunch of friends like people here,
Yeah.
I highly recommend it, guys. My number 1, Chinatown.
Nice.
Okie dokie. So, earlier on we had your newest game on the list.
Yes, Downforce.
Nice. And now I'm putting my newest game on the list. It is also the cheapest game on my list. Coming in at a whopping £20 and 5 pence.
Nice.
We are talking about Acropolis.
Oh, yes,
Acropolis.
you've got to play this not long after it comes yours.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I saw you playing this the other day.
You did
I've not heard of
indeed.
this
I
one.
have played it so much over the past couple of weeks. It is
That good to be number one.
absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it is really, really simple to teach. I've never seen punch boards so thick.
Oh, nice.
Like, they were stupidly thick. But yeah, basically, 2 actions. Pick a tile from the centre. Play that tile on your city. You're building an ancient Greek city. And there's a kind of like a puzzle set collection type deal going on, because obviously all the tiles in the middle have different districts on. The districts score differently depending on where they are in your city. Like, for example, houses want to be kept together. So if they're separate, then they don't score. So you want one big house thing. But then you also need the plazas within those houses, because they're your multiplier. So, for example, I could have 13 housing districts and not one plaza, which means I get 0 points. Whereas if I have 4 plazas within that 13 thing, it's 13 times by 4. That's my points for that particular one. And there's 5 different districts that all score points within the game, and it is stupidly thinky, but in a good way.
Okay.
So, like I said,
Is this on a board or you build your own city?
you are building your own. So you start with literally a standard sort of triangle tile, and in the centre of the table will be a construction site, air quotes. And if you're taking the one to the furthest to the left, it's totally free. But any one past that costs you 1 stone per, as far up the track you go. So if you go right to the top, it's going to cost you a lot in stone. And the only way to get stone is to actually build on top of a quarry. So you're not only building your city out, but you're also building it up.
Right.
So there's a lot of thinkiness to go into it.
So you have to build it to earn the concrete, I was saying.
Yeah, and then there's the sort of the thinky side of it of, well, I really want that one, so I'm going to spend all my stone now, but then it gets back around to you, it's like, shit, I've got no stone. I've now got to take the one that's free.
Gotcha.
And that might actually shaft me, because now I was like, I've only really got this area, and I need that to extend this. So you'd end up putting it there and going, right, I now need to change my plan so that I can build up. And yeah, you just sort of sit there thinking, this game looks way too easy. But then once you're sat down, it's like playing Mastermind. It's like,
Really?
No, I'm really going to sit and think about this. The only downside to the game is it can be a breeding ground for analysis paralysis. However, I don't think the game is... Because, I mean, you're talking 20 minutes to play this game. It's really not long. So if you are sitting there spending that amount of time thinking about things, it's like, maybe this isn't the type of game for you.
Right, okay.
But, 2-3 minutes.
But you don't have to rush it, right? You can take your time
at all.
with it.
Yeah, you can take your time. And because once you've made your selection, that's the key thing, is once you've made your selection, you can take your time playing that tile, because it no longer affects the rest of the players. But obviously selecting a tile from the middle will affect them, because if you take the free one, by the time they take their selection, then there's a new free one, which they might have had to have paid for. So once you've made your selection, you can then sit there and go, right, where is this best situated on my board? And everyone can do the same. So there is an element of simultaneous play, but it's obviously not designed that way. But yeah, like I taught it last night. I didn't play. I literally just sat at the end of the table and went, right, this is how we do it. This is your actions. Go. And like I said, I think because you start the game with the construction site and then 11 stacks of tiles ready to come out. That's how long the game is. So you've basically got 12 rounds of selecting and
Kind of
playing.
like Cascadia in that respect.
It's very, very similar to Cascadia.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that physical tile playing, I suppose pattern matching. It's very physical and tactile, isn't it? That's quite a welcoming experience generally. Yeah.
I think you will like it. I definitely think you'll like it.
Nice.
I don't actually know you well enough, Chris, to know whether it's your type of
Like I
game.
say, it's something that I've never played those games, but what's 20 minutes? You know,
Exactly. Yeah. You can always try it.
I mean, we're doing an episode on it very soon, and I can spoil it a little bit by saying, it's high.
It's really good.
It's a high ranking one for me. So,
How high?
more
can
than
you
an
get-
8?
How far? How high could you get it built up?
usually, I would say 3 tiles high. So it's only going to be about
You're not making a monstrosity. I
you're
guess.
only maybe 10 millimeters.
So if you
off
played
the-
it with a load of people who you did, would it be a case of I'm taking that bit because I know you're gonna?
Well, I think once you know the game, and I would say that people cottoned onto it very quickly last night. It was like, oh, well, he's collecting the greens, and the green multiplier that's just come out is a ×3. He's already got 6. So I don't want him having that because that makes that a ×9.
Hate drafting.
And it's like, but at the same time, if I take that, I'm not going to get the one that I need. So you are sort of... There
Like
is
the
that
science
element.
symbols.
So there's more douchebaggery.
Douchebaggery.
Yeah.
No, that's good. It's a good progression of like once you've learnt the game,
Exactly.
there's more to the game. It's not so.
Yeah, when I bought it, I genuinely did not think it was going to be a game that had that much replayability. But I play it when I taught James the game. Very, very rarely do we get about halfway through the first game and he turned and said, I want to play a second round of this.
Wow.
I was like, sorry,
What?
And he was like, I really want a second game of this. Like, okay, cool. Well, let's finish the first
That's
one
when you
first.
know it's a winner. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good choice. Please let me play it, sir. And down to the final one.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I know. Terrible, isn't it?
Expansion more. Sorry, Games Master.
Why am I worried? This is my collection. Fuck you guys. No, remember
Fucking, he put Ticket to Ride in it, man. How good can it be?
Oh, I know, terrible. I said I tried to order this by sort of complexity, and I tried to give each one a different category. So starting at the sort of easiest ones, we had sort of Railroad Inc. and Men at Work, and then Downforce a little bit more complicated, and then Ticket to Ride maybe a bit more than that, and then finally the most complicated one on the list, and is also my example of a cooperative game, and is also a crossover with Ants, and it's Horrified.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Sorry, I didn't realise you had it.
I do. I have
Not
the
the
American.
P-word.
No.
I thought the P word was going to
I
be
thought
there.
the P word.
Yeah, I know everyone thought it was coming, but this is taking over that for me for now. And I'll tell you why I didn't put Pandemic in there.
Sure.
I think Horrified is a simpler system.
Okay.
So, and I think something about it lends itself to being easy to teach. I'm not sure why that is, but I've had some people that have struggled with Pandemic. I haven't had anyone that struggled with Horrified so far. It might just be a matter of degrees, like the tiniest amount easier, but for me it seemed easier to run. In any case, yeah, it's a fabulous co-op game. I think it's a really, really cool theme. It's like cheesy monster movies. That's just great fun at any time, but especially around like Halloween. It's a great Halloween game. It's co-op, so people aren't worried about doing something wrong and or worried about losing or playing badly. There's none of that because you're all working together. It has great replayability because you have different monsters and different combinations of monsters that you're trying to fight. Each monster has its own little puzzle to figure out to defeat them. And it's a relatively simple go. You have a whole list of actions. There's like, I don't know how many now, 6 or 7 actions, something like that you get to pick. And you pick 4 of those. Or the same one 4 times.
Yeah.
Or some combination of these things and the number of times you want to do it, that equals 4. And you do those things. And it's simple. You're either moving around the board or you're picking up stuff to defend you, which is basically a chip with a number on it.
Yep.
Or you're going to different destinations to help people out. Or you're going to a destination to fight the monsters. It's a really easy, intuitive teach. And it's a cracking one. I think it's very good.
See, I know we were all expecting Pandemic.
Everyone wants it.
I actually...
I'm still thinking it's coming.
I own Pandemic, and it is one of the honourable mentions that I have, but I wanted to avoid it because it was like that. It was just a bit too predictable because it is...
I'm very shocked it was
the
Horrified,
gateway
sir.
game.
But good pick. Good pick.
Yeah, very good choice.
I don't know. I might... You might disagree, and the internet may do, but I feel like Horrified is an easier teach than Pandemic was, even if by a matter of degrees. I don't know why that is, but
I would like it to bring it to the table a lot more, but it's...
And they're quite similar games in some respects. So
Yeah.
The theme with Pandemic now, it might be a bit close.
A bit close to home.
Recently,
True, also. That's
with
very true.
Horrified, you can say, well, It's not a virus spreading across the world.
Do you know what? I 100% agree, and that's a great point. It avoids all of that. It's just a fun, funky, cheesy Hammer horror movie theme. And yeah, it was at the top, but could have considered Pandemic, but I just think it's slightly more complex, if not about the same. But at the moment, I like this one more.
Nice.
And if all things are equal, I'll pick the one that I want to play.
Yeah. True. Good picks, guys. Everyone, good picks. I know a couple of clashes, but I don't think there was a bad one there at all, to be honest. Very good picks. Loads I want to play as well.
Yeah, as my collection is amazing, of course, they're great picks.
I thought it was awesome.
Oh, no, that's very kind. No, I think there's something for everybody, right? And something to get away from our lists something to take away from our lists is it's very personal to us because this is our collection.
Our collection, yeah.
But also, in that collection of games we discussed is something for everybody. I mean, there is, and that will give you an idea of the breadth of types of board games you can introduce new people to. There are.
And I'm quite thankful that everyone has respected each other's collection as well. No one's dissed anything or whatnot. Everyone's just very, very respectful about it. I'm like, Jason's smiling at the round.
Well, that's only while we're on the mic. I can't seem like an arsehole all the time.
There you go, dude. It's fine.
But are there any honourable mentions at all that you like to pick from your collection?
Like I said, from the stuff that wasn't sort of party games, I sort of want to mention Hanabi, because I've played that a bunch of times with
That's
people.
the firework one, right?
And it's a fabulous co-op, right? I think taken as, like, I suppose, an objective measure, and you go, okay, that might be better to introduce to a new person, maybe Horrified, but the theme of Horrified I like more, so, and I know people, that's quite easy, but Hanabi is an amazing game. It won the Spiel des Jahres. So it's going to be good. Yeah. And it's wonderful. It's very simple. It does something very clever. Cooperative as well.
Yep.
And it makes people go, ooh, what a clever idea. Why didn't they think of that before? And it engages you in the game immediately.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Really good choice. Apologies, I've got a few
I
want to mention.
Do it. Let's hear it.
Wayne will know this one. I know you have played it. Savannah Park.
Yep, great one.
It was very, very close. That came in at number 6 for me. That was the one that was jostling with Downforce all the time. Really, really good game. You'll know Pugs in Mugs.
Yeah, great game.
Great family game. That's on there.
I think that was my number 7, that was.
Bandido is always
Bandido's good fun.
Again, didn't want to be too predictable with that. Dice Forge is actually one that
I haven't played it.
Started.
I listened to your episode about it.
Into it.
I would say
in the top 10 or
Dice Forge actually came in at 13.
Oh, okay.
I'm sort of skipping some.
if I was going to pick a social deduction game for this list, it would probably be Spyfall. Because that is probably
Spyfall's great. I've got the DC version. It's a lot of fun.
And it's one of the easiest social deduction games as well. There's really not much to it except a card. And it's really simple, easy to teach, easy to play, very fun, plays in 10 minutes as well. So if I was going to pick one, that would be it too. And just having a quick look on my sort of wider list, again, there was a lot that I kind of went away from because they were sort of party games, but if I had to pick one, it would be just one.
Oh, I was going to say
yeah.
Because Chris has played that a bunch.
I love that one, and that's one that I bought. Well, my mum's bought it for the family because she enjoyed it so much. So that's now a party game that she's invited. That she had her friends round, and they played it. You know, not gamers, loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it.
It's a brilliant game. Yeah,
it requires very little.
Yeah, say like if you had a card and the word was Jaws. If you said a word to describe Jaws, what would you say?
What would it be? What would you say?
One word.
Teeth.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like you say teeth. If someone said shark and shark, that game...
it cancels it out.
So you'd have teeth. And you'll go, it could be a dentist.
The person that's trying to guess...
So you got to think outside the box, but not be too...
Yeah. Not too obvious.
It's really smart. Yeah. Just one, I think that would be my pick for a party game from the stuff that I've got.
I'm surprised Deception wasn't on your list.
Yeah, again, if it's going to be a social deduction game, and this is how I structured my list, I would do Spyfall instead. If for new
players,
yeah, I think that's because you can also take that anywhere as well. It's it's so welcoming. You can stick that in a bag. It's super easy. Deception was close. It is, but I think that's the next level up on the things that I've got. Yeah,
nice.
But,
definitely. Because I mentioned to you, I would have Jamaica.
Jamaica is great.
Because that was on my list last time. Even though I really wanted to put it on, because it definitely would be on there. So, I can't recommend that
enough.
So listen to my reasons for that one. But yeah, that one. And I would say for my first sort of maybe another board game like Spectrots, like enjoying, which was Shadows over Camelot.
Yeah.
Pretty simple to set up. You always think it's longer than it actually is.
No, it's like
but you can play without a traitor aspect, which I recommend in the first game. But it's just 4 or 5 of you all playing together to deliver one goal. So it's easy enough to take that person on the adventure with you.
Yeah, exactly. Good one.
Good choices, guys. I think before we end it there, do you want to do one more plugs for your podcasts? And then we'll end it there, guys.
Well, go on then. I'm sorry. I'll do it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jason. You can find us at Board Stupid, spelled BOARD, wherever you can find your favourite podcast, and on YouTube. We've got some video stuff on there. And please do follow us on Facebook and Insta if you can. Find Board Stupid, you'll find us. Because we're going to be doing a load of stuff from Spiel. And if you're listening to this where that was in the past, you'll find a bunch of information and news and views and videos of that on our page as of now.
Very nice. Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. We are Meeple Minded. We can be found on all good audio streaming services. We are also on YouTube, but we don't do videos. You can just listen to the audio podcast on there. And that's Meeple Minded. If you don't know how to spell Meeple, why are you a board gamer?
Jason! Come on, dude! Wow.
It's because he can't say it on his podcast, so he'll do it on someone else's.
Please.
Yeah.
And just to
Swear it is allowed,
clarify, my name is Wayne, and I am from Board Stupid.
And you'll find Chris at the M.T.V.B, right?
Yeah, go on, I'm Chris, and you can find me around, but please do not follow me, because that is just weird. Thank you.
And we'll end it there, guys. So if you enjoy what you've listened to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B Podcast, on Instagram at M.T.V. Podcast 197, TikTok at M.T.V. Podcast 197 as well as Twitter at M.T.V.B Podcast 1. In the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye to Chris, Wayne, and Jason. Thank you guys for part 2. I hope to see you again soon, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers all. Bye-bye. Don't have nightmares.